Greetings, comrades. Welcome to All Power to the People podcast on Grown Folks Talking, Express Yourself Internet Radio via the Huddle Team app. We meet every Sunday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. We discuss local, national, and global events that impact the material conditions of the people and provide viable solutions. We are here to find those tired of the way their lives are socially constructed. As Panthers, we use dialectic materialism. As Dr. Huey P. Newton stated, power is the ability to define phenomena and make it act in a desired manner. From combating the housing crisis to police patrols, we are the vanguard in place to serve our communities. The purpose of this program is to highlight contradictions in the electoral process, which Western culture calls politics. Politics is the struggle for resources. Participating in America's electoral process has only taken resources from the people and handed it to the oligarchs and the professional managerial class that serve them by maintaining the status quo through coercion. We know that power lies with the people, and it is our duty to organize and educate the community so that they can fight for their own liberation. So please, join us every Sunday at 12 p.m. You can join by downloading the Huddle Team app, join online, or call in. The app and joining online is free, but if you call in, standard messaging rates may apply. Links to the show will be provided in the caption. This is General Secretary Patience of the new African Black Panther Party, NABPP North. All power to the people.
I'll be having conversation with people, and they'll be like, so what do we do? What is our option? How do we change our material condition? How do we change the reality around us? I mean, you can't do that. This is from our food program. I mean, so that's why I'm starting off like this to show everybody like the things that you could do in the community. As Panthers, we come together in North to get this food to go out and give to the families that are starving. We all know, if we live in these communities, we know how hard times are. We're all going through it. We eat the same food too. We take the food in our home and we put them in our bellies. This is our during the school year, all year round. We don't have enough money to go build a school to be able to bring in all these children and stuff. We don't have all of that. But we can create an after-school program. And this is one of the ways we bring the kids in with the after-school program so they could come in for us to give them that knowledge, to teach them, and try to help guide them through this reality, through this world. You say they teach you about 9/11 in school?
Yeah.
What did they teach you about 9/11? Why did the plane hit the buildings? You got to say it loud enough so I can hear you.
The Muslim airjacked the plane and then they crashed some shit into the Twin Towers.
That's what they taught you, that the Muslims hijacked the plane? That's okay. That's okay. Relax.
They plane crashed into the Twin Towers.
But why did they crash into the Twin Towers? They didn't. Anybody? Hey, what you were saying, Major? Hold up. Let Major speak. What'd you say, Major?
Another plane and it was more hijackers on the other plane and they crashed into that.
But why did they crash into the Twin Towers? So they crashed into the Twin Towers to go to New York. They died to go to New York.
They wanted to. Hijackers wanted.
But
they crashed into the Twin Towers.
Oh, they wanted to go land in New York, but they crashed into the Twin Towers. So anybody else got something to add? Archie, you got something to add? What you want to add?
Other planes, airjacked and then they crashed into different places.
That's it? Yeah. So nobody can tell me why the planes crashed? Why the planes did that? Nobody can tell me? But don't you think the school should tell you why?
Yeah.
So, like, if the school not telling you why, what does that mean?
They keep it secret.
Wow.
Gatekeeping.
Whoa, where you get gatekeeping from, bro?
I say gates.
But where you learn that at? You say me? you burnt out, yo. You burnt out. Nah, but the reason why they crashed into the into the Twin Towers is because the American government, America was going to their country, taking their natural resources, stealing their stuff, killing their people. So they got mad. They stole a plane and they came and crashed it on the World Trade Center to get back at America. That's why they did it. No, it wasn't one plane. I think it was 2 or 3. Was it? I think it was one. No, I think there was one in D.C. and there was one in Philly or something like that. That they. Yeah. Huh?
And I basically got it right there. There was Twin Towers, and then another one tried to crash into the place that Trump lives in.
The Trump Tower?
I think they
ain't no plane trying to go to the Trump Tower. The White House? Did the plane try to go to the White House? Pentagon. The plane, one went to the Pentagon. But these people be lying. The media be lying. The politicians be lying. So you never know what's true. But why they really did it, they said because America was going over to their countries and they were killing their people. They were taking their resources and they were putting military bases in their country. So that's why they did it. I mean, that's why they went over there and did it. So they call that blowback. Like when you go to another country and you do stuff to them, and then they come back over here and do something, like they call that blowback. It's like give back. Yeah, it's like give back.
So imagine another country.
You said they should have did more? Then we gonna die. If they knew, because we gonna die.
What if we wasn't alive at that time?
But we're gonna continue this later, y'all. I'm gonna holler at y'all. We're gonna continue later. This is our summer basketball camp. It's going on right now. Every day from 9 to 1. We have this basketball camp that that the kids come out. Yo, it's all about organizing and finding ways to bring people out, bring the children out to be able to organize them. I mean, when you're doing these things to bring the children in, to bring the community in, yo, you got to be serious. You can't be playing around with this. Yo, like when the kids come here, at the end of the summer, they're stronger, they're faster, they're quicker, and they know more about the game, about the sport than they did before. You know, we watch their minds develop every day. While we're talking about Pantherism, what do we do? What are the solutions? Yo, there's solutions here. I mean, the solutions is organizing our own community, creating an economic base where we can be able to feed ourselves, take care of ourselves without having to bow down to somebody else, without having to beg somebody else for our humanity. Yo, I refuse to go beg anybody to give me humanity. I will take my humanity by force. I understand I am not free. We understand we are not free as Panthers. There's no doubt in our mind if we are free or not. And you cannot hold anybody that's under oppression, that's under neocolonialism, responsible for how their life turned out, because they control no institution. I mean, I often hear people say, like, the drug dealers, the worst thing in our community is drug dealers, because they're stupid. They're ignorant. They haven't educated themselves to understand the world around them. So they just open their mouth and regurgitate whatever they heard somebody else say. You're a fool if you believe anything out here is your fault or our fault. Seriously. And I'm telling you, I work with the community all day and all night, and I know how ignorant the community can be. But I don't blame the people for the conditions they find themselves in. They have nothing to do with how anything is done materially in this world. They're just bystanders. The people that I hold accountable is those that know, the intellectuals. That's supposed to know better, but continue to usher our people into institutions of white supremacy, of imperialism, that will continue to exploit us. Tell our people to go vote. What are you voting for? I mean, who are you voting for? Who do they serve? They don't serve the people. They won't serve the people, or they won't survive in those institutions. Get your phone. My son. What's your son? Get some from. Get some. Let me see. Hold it out, Bobby. Mira. Hold it out. Let me see. Yeah. Hold it up. You got it? You like it? There we go. You're welcome. What's your name? What position you play? Oh, picture. You're the picture. You're a picture. Your children out here?
I'm just watching.
Oh, you just watching? You just watching too? My name Afrikan. African. Yeah, the continent. Yeah, continent. Hold up. Huh? Yeah. I'll come every year. I'll bring more stuff. I'll come. I'll bring everything every year. Yeah, we just started. We're coming with the organization. The organization, the
Black Panther
Party. So the Black Panther Party. So look, no politician, no rich person will take care of us. The only people that are going to take care of us is us. If we understand, if we understand that, that's all we need to do is take care of each other. We're going to be good. Yeah. So you notice how all the companies, all the stores is owned by the gringos, Canada, Switzerland. We need to own it. We need to own everything. So sure. You need to own stuff in shit. You need to own beds. You need to own Roomba. Yeah, we need to own all of that shit. Not nobody else. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, man. But that's why I'm here. Everything we do is free. Everything is free. You don't pay. Yeah, you don't pay for nothing. I mean, this is my guy here. This is my guy too. You know, Shooty? Yeah, this is my guy. He helped me out down here. I've been with this company for about 7 years, but it's been here since 1969. I'm the leader of the company. I'm the leader now of the organization here. So we come down. He's gonna be down here working down here in the organization for me. Yeah, he's gonna be here working here. Yeah, I water flood everywhere. I go everywhere. I stay in. So you want to help me do this in Puerto Plata? I'm about to cut off the camera and I'm about to take your number. We're going to do the same thing. You know, the person that run the baseball, he helping me too. Man, what's your name, man? Tell them your name, man.
My name is Brian. I'm teacher of natural science.
Natural science? Oh, my God. I'm hitting a home run everywhere I go, man. Papi, mira. Good? You good? There we go. Biology? My God.
Revolutionary act.
Welcome to All Power to the People, Grown Folks Talking Network. Express yourself. I'm your host, Chairman Africa. Yeah, on the screen, we got the one that's all in the front. That's Captain Patience. It was her birthday, the 27th. Happy birthday, comrade. Let me see what the Patience right. Happy birthday to my love daughter, comrade. Yeah, she's not just our daughter, she's our comrade. If you're gonna organize, the first place it starts is in your home. That's something that everybody should know. Everybody that's in this space, organizing. The first place you should start with in your organization is your home. If you can't organize the people in your home, how you gonna organize anybody else? The people in your home, the people around you, the people you grew up with, those are the people that know you the best. If you can't convince those people that you are sincere and that what you're talking about is right, how you gonna go out in the world and try to convince anybody else? I mean, but I don't understand how people usually do that. But thank you, Captain Patience, for all the work that you do during the week, every day. I mean, to assist the party and the work that we do. I mean, all power to the people, comrade. But let's get back to our regularly scheduled program. Every week we come here to talk about what we need to do to change the material conditions outside our community. The first duty of a revolutionary is to be educated. I'm going to say it again. The first duty of a revolutionary is to be educated. If you're not educated, if you have no political education, you're nowhere. Like Fred Hampton said, you're nowhere. You have no idea why you're doing what you're doing. Then you're going to end up being an imperialist. Like, it makes no sense at all. I mean, so the first duty of a revolutionary is to be educated. So we come here and we listen to luminaries from the past. Great minds, great thinkers. Well, the people that told us we're great minds and thinkers as we grew up, we listen to them and hear what they were saying in real time, and then compare it, juxtapose it to what we're dealing with in our communities now. Did we progress? I mean, like, what is it? digress, whatever. I mean, did we move forward or are we going backwards? What do we need to do to make sure we're on the path towards liberation? That's why we come here. This show is not for everybody. It's not for people that don't know how to think, that can't take criticism or not sincere and don't want to learn. Somebody wanted to say something? So if you don't want to say anything, make sure you're muted because it cuts through. Hey, yo, now, Captain Patience, you want to say anything? I know I'm putting you on.
One second. I'm going to mute everybody, but unmute yourself when I'm done, Chairman. Hold on.
So I'm still muted?
No, you're good.
Okay. Hey, go ahead, Captain Patience. Go ahead, say something, man. How old are you, yo? Talk to us. What's going on with you?
All power to the people, comrades. I just turned 22.
You almost 30. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm pushing 30. But I don't really have much to say besides I love the work we do, and I hope to keep fighting the fight. And I hope we can continue to organize, and I hope this platform brings us together so we can learn together and grow together.
All power to the people. Like, so tomorrow is Monday. I don't know, you had spring break yet?
Yes.
Oh, you started spring break. Oh, all right, that's what's up. So tomorrow is Monday. Usually she goes to school. She's in her last year at Seton Hall University. So she go to school, and after school she comes down and help me with the after school program, picking up the children, helping them with their homework, feeding them, and also training them. I mean, so that's what she do from Monday to Friday. That's a regular party job. Aside from the rallies that we attend, the different meetings, the different organizational things that we do. I mean, so it's a full-time job. It's a way of living. I mean, we are happy to have Captain Patience with us in our ranks. All power to the people. Now, I'm about to go to the Philadelphia Negro. We've been listening to Philadelphia Negro for a couple of weeks now. And the Philadelphia Negro is a book written by W.E.B. Du Bois, and he's explaining the conditions of black folks in Philadelphia in 1896. And from that, we are starting to see how much freedom, how much liberty the black people at that time had. Who was free, who wasn't free, the class dynamic, everything. Like today, they're going to be talking about institutions. And you know what? Let me start here. Let me start by showing everybody what institutions are, because that's very important. It's very important that you understand what institutions are and what their purposes are. So I'm going to play this video. Let me see.
The Philadelphia.
Right here. I'm going to play this video. Hey, please pay attention. It's not even that long. It's a short video, but it's going to explain to you what institutions, by and large, what their functions are in society.
Are essential parts of any society. Think about it. Police stations, schools, hospitals, businesses like Walmart and Trader Joe's are all core parts of a community. In a sense, they impose structure on how individuals behave. For example, if all the laws that exist in our community disappeared, would I still have a normal day? Probably not. People would be speeding down the street, looting my neighborhood coffee shop, and perhaps a stranger would be sleeping on my living room couch. All the things that I'm used to would be completely disrupted. Maybe a more reasonable example is, let's say all the schools had a new rule of no classes on Fridays. Then parents would have to figure out childcare for that day. Institutions and their rules definitively guide what we do. You may be thinking that you don't have a kid, and maybe you don't need child care services. But in general, individuals are reliant on the institutions in their community. But is the reverse true? Do institutions need individuals? In general, they need lots of folks to contribute to allow them to function, but they don't typically need any one random individual. So there's a bit of an imbalance between institutions and individuals, if that makes sense. While they need individuals and are created by groups of individuals, they will continue even after the individual is gone. The concept of institutions may seem like a daunting idea, but try thinking of them as just a form fulfilling a need. Institutions meet the needs of society by filling expected roles and behaviors. For example, In order for society to continue, it needs people year after year after year. The family institution makes sure that there will be people to carry on the next generation. We know society needs a way to keep people healthy, so you have the medical institution. And society even needs a way to encourage innovation and progress, so you have universities. There are two views of institutions, a conservative view and a progressive view. The conservative view sees institutions as being natural, positive byproducts of human nature. For example, the institution of hospitals forms naturally from the activities of humans and naturally benefits them. The progressive view takes the standpoint that institutions are artificial creations that need to be redesigned if they are to be helpful to humanity. So perhaps you can see businesses as potentially harming society if they aren't reined in. Now, unfortunately, institution is one of those words that has a very different meaning to a sociologist than it does to the average person. We average people might think of just a business or corporation when we hear the word institution. A sociologist, on the other hand, thinks of social structures when they hear the word institution.
Pause. I hope you was paying attention because I'm about to say something real quick. They just dropped the jewel just now. Let me bring that back a little bit.
They think of governments.
Now I want you to hear that again. They dropped the jewel. Where is it at? Let me see. Right here. Let me see.
People might think of just a business or corporation. Average people might think of just a business or corporation when
average people think of institutions as just a corporation or a business. To them, that's an institution. Where as a sociologist, institutions are. Let me play it.
You hear the word institution. A sociologist, on the other hand, thinks of social structures when they hear the word institution.
Social structures. So like you hear like a black person be like, yo, I got a black business. Yo, that is not a black business. It is not the people's business. It is your business. For it to be the people's business, it has to benefit the people. Because you have a capitalist venture or whatever, that doesn't mean it's a black venture. It means it's your venture. You see, but they have switched terminology, switched up the words to try to conceal what they're doing. And I'm talking about the black middle class, the black bourgeoisie class, because they're the one that put black in front of it. So we all black people will support their businesses because they feel like it belongs to all of them. It's part of all of them. It's part of the culture. But no, that has nothing to do with the culture. Your capitalist business that you own, you profit from, and you exploit the community through or try to tax the community through, that is not a black business. You don't represent black. You may be black. You may look black. Your skin may be black, but you do not represent all black people. And all black people are not eating off your one capitalist business or venture. So it is not a black business. You see, but people will continue to say it in the society we live in because people say whatever they want. It really don't have to have no meaning to it. There are no rules. There are no rules. There are no laws. There anything that's governing the society that we live in. So people say whatever. But this is telling you, the whole reason why we listen to this is to explain to you the purpose of institutions and how these institutions control how we move, because we're about to go directly into it with W.E.B. Du Bois when he's talking about institutions. If you don't understand what institutions are, you're going to miss the point of what he's saying. And that's huge. Let me finish this out.
They think of governments, families, hospitals, schools, the legal system, religion, as well as businesses. Each of those parts of society continues on without regard to any individual. Governments continue even after the people within them turn over. Families continue from one generation to the next. Laws continue on after the people who wrote them are long dead and buried. Hospitals, schools, businesses, all continue past the time span of any individual and are not dependent on any one individual either.
There's a part just now when they said that the institutions are not dependent on any individual. But without all of us, without all the individuals, that institution ceases to exist. Because if there's nobody, if the people in the community are not walking into that hospital, what you got people there for? Why do you have people in there working? That institution will die because the people, the power is in the people. The power is always in the people. The whole thing is organizing the people for them to understand the power they have and build their own institutions next to these ones that have been put in there by our enemies, by the imperialists, by the people that own the hospitals that make it that when a black woman goes in the hospital, they may end up dying to go have a child. But other people could go in there and they're just normal, just like it's like walking to them. Just they could just go in there and nothing happens to them. But as soon as the black people go in there, a black woman goes in there, they may lose their life just to have a child. We don't want those institutions. Or you got to go in the institution, if you don't have enough money, they'll let you die. The problem is we haven't built our own institutions next to it. As Panthers, we learned that our duty is to build dual contending power. That means build our institutions next to the one that is here by the imperialists. Which one do you think the people will go to? The one that take care of them, to try to make them better, or the one that's trying to keep them sick, to continue to milk them for money? How do you solve that? Can you fix those institutions over there? Can you reform those institutions? Or are we at the point where we need to build our own institution? That question has been answered a long time ago. Now I'm about to go back to Du Bois so we could hear what Du Bois say. Answer that.
The Philadelphia Negro, Chapter 12, Section 35, Institutions. The chief Negro institutions of the city are the Home for Aged and Infirmed Colored Persons, the Douglas Hospital and Training School, the Women's Exchange and Girls Home, 3 cemetery companies, the Home for the Homeless, the Special Schools, as the Institute for Colored Youth, the House of Industry, Raspberry Street Schools, and Joneses Schools for...
Oh, look at it. Look at the dates. Quaker teacher and abolitionist founded the school in 1770. And remember, you see those black people right there? They're free black people in 1773. When did the when did the Civil War end? The Civil War. Yeah, the Civil War. They got so many wars, man. I get their wars mixed up because I'm thinking not about other wars and stuff. But when did the Civil War end? The Civil War ended 1870 some whatever. That's when the Civil War ended. But look at all these black people were free. See, most people think in their mind that all black people were during slavery time, all black people were slaves, all black people was in the field picking cotton, doing all this. Nah, you had some free black people. You had hundreds of thousands of free black people. What were they doing during slavery time? What did they call themselves? How did they move back then? What institutions did they build? I mean, because remember, institutions control how people move. They, by and large, dictate how future generations are going to turn out. These are what institutions are there for. The free black people, the freedmen, during slavery time, what institutions were they building? What were they doing? And that's what Du Bois is talking about. That's what it's explaining to you. These are all the institutions that they had before the Civil War. Before the Civil War. Let me go back to it.
Girls, the YMCA, and University Extension Center. The Home for the Aged, situated at the corner of Girard and Belmont Avenues, was founded by a Negro lumber merchant, Stephen Smith, and is conducted by whites and Negroes. It is one of the best institutions of the kind. Its property is valued at $400,000, and it has an annual income of $20,000. It has sheltered 558 old people since its foundation in 1864. The Douglas Memorial Hospital and Training School is a curious example of the difficult position of Negroes. For years, nearly every hospital in Philadelphia has sought to exclude Negro women from the course in nurse training, and no Negro physician could have the advantage of hospital practice. This led to a movement for a Negro hospital. Such a movement, however, was condemned by the whites as an unnecessary addition to a bewildering number of...
And if anybody want to chime in, put your hand up or something, or try to get my attention. Because, listen to what they're saying right there. They say because like those hospitals wasn't taking care of black people, they should have freed black people. Because the hospital wasn't taking care of them, they figured they had to build their own hospital. This is in the 1700s. Yo, we're in 2026. We're in 2026. Yo, you hear people complaining all the time about the hospital, about insurance, about health, about all this stuff. Do you ever hear the conversation from our leadership, from black leaders? Yo, when you come here, like I need you to understand, this ain't like the normal space. The normal show, you're going to go to an MSNBC, CNN, you're going to be listening to Mark Lamont Hill, all these people. Yo, that's not what this is. This is like real revolutionaries, real organizing, like really thinking about how we change our conditions outside. Nobody's paying us. We're not here because of a paycheck. We're not saying what somebody's telling us to say. If these hospitals today not working and they're killing our women, they're killing our children, why is the conversation about all these rich people that always flaunting their money, talking about how much money they got? Why are they not talking about building hospitals in our communities? Why is the conversation like if their hospital, those hospitals won't take care of us? You know what? We got all this bread. I'm Jay-Z. I don't stop at the what do you say? I don't stop at the toll. You got Easy Pass, whatever you say. I mean, what they be saying? All this money they got, they be traveling everywhere. They doing all this, trying to floss in front of us. Why you don't floss and build some hospitals that take care of the people? Why they ain't been doing that? This is in the 1700s. They telling you, like, yo, their hospitals ain't doing nothing for us, so we're going to have to build our own hospitals.
Charitable institutions. By many of the best Negroes as a concession to prejudice and the drawing of the color line. Nevertheless, the promoters insisted that colored nurses were efficient and needed training, that colored physicians needed a hospital, and that colored patients wished one. Consequently, the Douglas Hospital has been established, and its success seems to warrant the effort. The total income for the year 1895 to 1896 was $4,656.31. 61 patients were treated during the year, and 32 operations performed. 987 outpatients were treated. The first class of nurses was graduated in 1897. The Women's Exchange in Girls' Home is conducted by the principal of the Institute for Colored Youth at 756 South 12th Street. The exchange is open at stated times during the week, and various articles are on sale. Cheap lodging and board is furnished for a few schoolgirls and working girls. So far, the work of the exchange has been limited, but it is slowly growing and is certainly a most deserving venture. The exclusion of Negroes from cemeteries has, as before mentioned, led to the organization of 3 cemetery companies, 2 of which are nearly 50 years old. The Olive holds 8 acres of property in the 24th Ward, claimed to be worth $100,000. It has 900 lot owners. The Lebanon holds land in the 36th Ward, worth at least $75,000. The Marion is a new company which owns 21 acres in Montgomery County, worth perhaps $30,000. These companies are in the main well conducted, although the affairs of one are just now somewhat entangled. The Home for the Homeless is a refuge and home for the aged, connected with the Church of Crucifixion. It is supported largely by whites, but not entirely. It has an income of about $500. During 1896, 1,108 lodgings were furnished to 90 women, 8,384 meals given to inmates, 2,705 to temporary lodgers, 2,078 to transients, and 812 to invalids. The schools have all been mentioned before. The Young Men's Christian Association has had a checkered history, chiefly as it would seem from the wrong policy pursued. There is in the city a grave and dangerous lack of proper places of amusement and recreation for young men. To fill this need, a properly conducted Young Men's Christian Association, with books and newspapers, baths, bowling alleys, and billiard tables, conversation rooms, and short, interested religious services is demanded. It would cost far less than it now costs the courts to punish the petty misdemeanors of young men who do not know how to amuse themselves. Instead of such an institution.
No, but I can't keep letting that go without me saying something. I got to say something there. In our communities, we complain. The people in the communities complain that there's no recreation, there's nothing for the children to really do. That's what they were just talking about just then. That's what he was talking about. That that there's nothing for the children to do, that nothing for them to do. They're just out here. And but like he's saying it that somebody has to come in there, like the government has to come in there. Like today, everybody expect the government to put the activities in the community, the politicians to put the activities in the communities. He's telling you in the 1800s that they were telling the government this. Du Bois, I ain't no Du Bois, but Du Bois wrote a whole book telling them this is what the people saying they needed, and they didn't do it all the way then. What do you think about the politicians that still asking the government to do the same stuff in 2026? Because these people are supposed to be so smart. These are the intellectuals. These are the lawyers. In 2026, they're still going down to City Hall and demanding these people put things in their communities that they should put in there. Because you understand these people are not here to serve you. This government is not here to serve you. But they haven't accepted that. Why haven't they accepted that? They're too dumb to see it. They haven't read the same books. They don't know the same thing we know. There got to be another reason to it. Why they keep going back, doing it over and over and over and over. They're not insane. It's not insanity. These people, all of these politicians, all these black politicians around the whole country, around the world, they're not crazy. They know exactly what they're doing. I mean, they're bamboozling and they're hoodwinking you, telling you these are the solutions that we need to follow. And then they kill off anybody else that bring the truth to you. The truth is you have to build your own institutions. You have to build your own. That's the only way. You have to take care of your own kids. Why are you so comfortable giving your kids away to the government for them to take care of, for them to educate? Why don't you understand by now you have to educate your own children? I mean, I know there's an effort. I know there's a sustained effort to keep us stupid and blind. But I'm just here to hold the mirror up.
However, the colored YMCA has been virtually an attempt to add another church to the numberless colored churches of the city, with endless prayer meetings and loud gospel hymns in dingy and uninviting quarters. Consequently, the institution is now temporarily suspended. It had accomplished some good work by its night school and social meetings.
He's talking about the YMCA. Because we don't fix this stuff in our communities. We expect somebody else to come fix it. So these people come with their charity. Their charity, which is often gives them a vehicle to come into our communities and exploit the community. But they come in there with the things like the YMCA. And what he telling you about how dingy it is. And all they got is Bible sermons. That's what they're coming in here to bring. Bible sermons. They're not addressing the issues at hand. And he's saying they did do some good. Man, whatever good they did, the bad outweighs it.
Since the organization of the Bainbridge Street University Extension Center, May 10, 1895, lectures have been delivered at the Church of the...
Hey, and understand this. When they're saying these people, these black people is not me. So I need you to understand this. These black people that they're talking about, these black people that are going to these churches that's waiting for the NAACP, that's waiting for the government and things like the NAACP to be put together for them, working with these people to put these are not, I don't recognize these black people. Keeping it a buck with you. You see, most people don't understand the history of who these black people are. These black people that are free at this time, while the masses of people are under slavery. What was it? I think they were like, what percent of black people were they? I think it's less than 20%. Or it has to be. Probably way less than that. But these people right here, that are free that they're talking about in the 18, in 17 something, in the early 18. These people are not us. They're not. They're a different black group, black people. These are the bourgeois. These are the elites. And at one point, they used to call themselves like the blue vein. I mean, like, you have to understand where these black people came from. These were the children of the slave masters. When the slave masters raped the women on the plantation, the slaves on the plantation, when they raped them, and they had children by them, and they often had them children working in their homes, working with them. They were teaching those children, teaching them how to read. When they let those children go out into the community, into the world, when they freed those children, they didn't free the Negroes on the plantation. When they freed the house niggas that they had working for them, that were their children, they let them out. And these free people were out there, these free black, mulatto, however you want to call them, sometimes passing for white. They out there were creating a society for themselves, the freedmen. That's my struggle as a black person on this planet. Has nothing to do with them. They have always been collaborators. We have to understand that, because we are in a class struggle. Those people they're not my comrades. They have nothing in common with me. These are the people we're reading now. And I have to say this, because I'm reading an audiobook now of E. Franklin Frazier. And the person that's doing the audiobook, she keeps saying us, we. Keep trying to bring the two together. I'm on the plantation. We on the plantation at this moment. We suffering on the plantation, getting whipped. These Negroes they're talking about that's building these schools, these YMCAs, these are different Negroes. These are different people. Even till today, we don't have nothing in common with those people. They just stole our hue, our skin. That's it. I mean, and if you're thinking like the stuff I'm saying is hyperbolic, go read E. Franklin Frazier. Go read what the Black Bourgeoisie. And that was written like in the 60s, I believe. Go read what's his name? Go read the Black Jacobins, and he's gonna explain it to you. And this was in Haiti. This was in Haiti when they were talking about this black bourgeois, these children of slave masters, and they're talking about that in the Black Jacobins, where they're discussing the Haitian Revolution. They're talking about the same group of people, the one that sold out their countrymen, that sold out other black Haitians to the French. I mean, I need people to understand this. All black people were not slaves. In fact, these other black people, I think about like towards the end of slavery, it was about 500,000, at least 500,000 of them that were free, that were out there, worrying about themselves, not worrying about the slaves on the plantation. We are not the same people. We've never been the same people. We are still not the same people. You know what they do today? Today, they pay for the weapon system that's going around blowing people up in Israel. That's what they pay for. They're financing all of those things. They're still alive today.
Chairman.
Yo.
I also want people to realize that those people you're talking about, they have morphed into what we see today as the SBA, the ADOs, the sovereignty people that talking about you can have your own nation in America and be separate. All these separatists, black only groups. I believe those is where they derive. Those are those types of people in present time today.
And you're right. And most people join them not even knowing that this is the philosophy originated from these people, from those free blacks that Du Bois is talking about. And he's calling them the good blacks in this book, because Du Bois is one of them. You see, but when you read these books, you get to see it for yourself. You get to hear what he said. Because when we get it, what they call that? Revisionism. They revise all of this stuff. And they give it to us in school as if these people were really here trying to liberate the masses of us when we were slaves. And you know what they called us? Let's say you ran away from down south. You deep down south in one of them plantations, and you run away and you make it up to Philly. You know what Du Bois and them will call you? They'll call you an immigrant. Yo, nothing changes, bruh. They'll call you an immigrant. How do I know that? Because I read the first couple of chapters where he was saying that when the immigrants come up from down south, they're not from Philly. They're not part of the good Philadelphians, part of the good black folks here, the one that's free. That's what these people been saying since we got off the slave ships. That's how they've been looking at us, as the other. Let me finish this, yo. It's so like when you go into history, your history is so rich. It's so many different doors that open in your mind for you to start thinking. Them synaptic cortex, whatever, start popping. They start moving.
Crucifixion, 8th and Bainbridge Streets, by Reverend W. Hudson Shaw. On English History, by Thomas E. Shuret. On the Development of English Streets.
Let's go back.
By Reverend W. Hudson Shaw.
W. Hudson Shaw. Who is this guy? Now remember, Du Bois started this by saying black institutions. You see, he knew what institutions were back then. He knew the need for institutions. And he's talking about black institutions. But who's funding these institutions? And I'm sorry, General Secretary, I didn't give you the stuff for you to put up here because it's my fault. But let's go to who. W. Hudson Shaw. William Hudson Shaw, 1859-1944, was a prominent British clergyman, educator, and fellow of Balliol College, Oxford. That's who. It's a white dude from British whatever, from Oxford. That's who was teaching people in them institutions that Du Bois was talking about. That's who was in there teaching. So imagine in 17-something, 18-something, what's his name? W. Hudson Shaw. W. Hudson Shaw. He's in there teaching Negroes on the plantation, on the field, niggas in the hood. W. Hudson Shaw is up there teaching them about whatever he's teaching them about. Can you see that? Or can you see those children of the slave masters who were trying to be like the slave masters, who didn't want to be nothing like the Negroes on the plantation, picking cotton, that they know how to read, getting whipped. They didn't want to be like them. They wanted to be like their masters, so they go to programs put together by their masters for somebody like W. Hudson Shaw to come over there to come educate them. I don't even know, what was he teaching? He was a clergyman. He was teaching them about religion or whatever. Oh, Reverend, right there, by Reverend W. Hudson Shaw. Or he taught them about history. That's who taught them their history, on English history. Yo, Hudson Shaw from England, from Oxford.
Of the Crucifixion, 8th and Bainbridge Streets, by Reverend W. Hudson Shaw. On English History, by Thomas Whitney Shuret. On the
Thomas Whitney Shuret. So now these black people, this freed black people that work for Massa, that are by and large children of Massa. Now these people are becoming free, and there's a whole bunch of them running around while black people on the plantation still held as slaves. So what are they learning in these schools, these institutions that W.E.B. Du Bois is talking about? These institutions that their masters have held them erect. What are they learning, and who are they learning from? Let's go to this guy. I got him too in here. I'm sorry I ain't give him to you either, General Secretary. This guy. Thomas Whitney Surratt was born to Francis James Surratt and Louis. Well, I can't even say this. Surratt in Concord, Massachusetts in 1861. He grew up in a very musical family and began 1861. What music were they playing back then? I don't think it was African music. Well, 1861, he grew up in a very musical family and began playing music at a young age. He taught piano and served as an organist for the Unitarian Church in Concord and took courses at Harvard in 1899. Surratt married Alda, blah, 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 blah. But anyway, you get an idea of who this was from Harvard. And this is the person that's teaching them music. These are the institutions that they're talking about back then. Remember we started the video where I explained to you how institutions function, how they control how people think, and how they move? These are the institutions that these I don't even know what to call them. These people are erecting. These are not black institutions. These are not institutions that are teaching you about who you are, your culture, where you come from. Because like we said last week, as soon as those slaves got off those slave ships, they tried to remove them from everything they were. They sold away their families. They separated them all over the world, on plantations all over the world. So you never saw your family again. You never knew about your tribe, your village, wherever you came from in Africa. All of that had to be done away. You had to start anew. And then when you have kids, those kids are starting anew. They have nothing coming from Africa or who they were. This was the reality of slavery. You was ethnically cleansed, bro. Like they did genocide on individual minds. This is what these people did, to remove all Africanness from you. And then these people like Du Bois, this half black, half white, free black people, they built institutions to make sure that took hold. The new Negro took hold. And that's where we at today. But these are the people, Whitney, Thomas Whitney Short, whatever, Charette, whatever, however you say his name. These are the people that they had in those institutions teaching future generations of traders, of collaborators. They got more. He got more names.
Of Music by Henry W. Elson on America.
Henry W. Elson. I got him too. Let me look him up. Y'all should have put the pictures up. But y'all need to do some homework. Google these people on your phone too. Brief life history of Henry William. When Henry William Elson was born on 29 March 1857 in British Creek Township, Ohio, United States. His father, Jacob Elson, was 26, and his mother, Clarissa Phoebe Swingle, was 20. She probably was 13. He married Hannah English Smith on 18 September 1889 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, United States. They were the parents of at least 2 sons. But I should say playing for Union. He's from Union, New Jersey, United States. Anyway, it's another white dude. And these are supposed to be black institutions. These are supposed to be black institutions that are here to, by and large, control how the people think. And these are the people that W.E.B. Du Bois is talking about. We're in those spaces teaching.
African History and by Hilaire Belloc on Napoleon. Each of these lecturers, except for Mr. Belloc, has given a course of 6 lectures on the subject stated, and classes have been held in connection with each course. The attendance has been above the average as compared with other centers in the city. Besides these efforts, there are various embryonic institutions, a day nursery in 7th Ward by the Women's Missionary Society, a large organization which does much charitable work, an industrial school near the city, etc. There are, too, many institutions conducted by whites for the benefit of Negroes, which will be mentioned in another place. Much of the need for...
You heard what he just said? There are too many organizations conducted by whites for the benefits of the Negro. I mean, so like at that point, it's like they didn't want them to be the conductors. They wanted them to just pay the money in the back to pay them, and they'll be the faces of these white people. I mean, like, yo, you got to go back. Once you go back and you learn all of this and you know where you come from, you know where this reality that you're in come from, you know how to deal with these people. So they got so the fight was, we can't have Thomas or whatever, Harris, whoever. We can't have these Whitney people. They can be the ones that's doing this, that's teaching about Napoleon. We gotta have what's a black name from back then? Nathaniel. We got Nathaniel Jenkins Jones be the one there teaching, be the face of the white imperialism.
Well, another example, Chairman, for this time period, we can't go into Brooklyn and convince the people to bring the Barclays Center. We got to show them Jay-Z that owns 0.0000001% of the stadium to go up there and convince the people to get their neighborhoods gentrified so they could build this stadium with their tax dollars, the people's tax dollars. and most of the people in the community is just driven out and can't even go to the Barclays Center.
I mean, but if you pay attention, if you go back and you pay attention, and you read and you study all this, and you understand how we got to where we are, you see Jay-Z coming a mile away. You see people like him coming a mile away. That's why they don't want to build our own institutions. That's why the black people that speak for us, the black middle class, the intellectuals that's supposed to speak for the people, the mass of the people, they don't want to build none of these institutions. They don't want to teach the people. They don't want the people to know, because once you know, you see them for who they are. They have been exploiting the masses of us since then. They were back in the 1700s, the 1800s. They were justifying slavery. They were justifying slavery. They'll use the Bible. Imagine talking to one of these people now. One of these people that like this MAGA dudes. You talk to some black dude or a black woman that support MAGA. No matter what you say to them, they have a comeback to rationalize their behavior. Or you talking to somebody that support Biden, that support the Democratic Party. There's no amount of logic you can give them. They always have something stupid to say behind it. What's the point of even talking to them? It's the same thing it would have been with these dudes during slavery time. Because most of it, people behave like this because they weren't about their own personal gain, their own personal access into these institutions, into white supremacy. So they'd be afraid to speak up and say anything. So they'll rationalize it. They'll make up all kind of stuff to try to justify their behavior. You a scumbag. I know you a scumbag. You ain't got to try to justify your behavior to me. I know you want to go get that money. That's why you turn your back on me. That's why you snaked me, because you want to go get that white money. Everything you do is about money. I understand you clearly. I understand we're on the plantation. I'm not telling you to go get whipped. I'm telling you, when you're going to go get that money, when you're doing all of that, and you try to act like you don't know we're on the plantation, you're not using some of that money to build institutions to liberate future generations. You are just like the massa. You are the oppressor in black skin. Like, that's not even really something that's hard to understand. It's basic. You go take that money from those people as a cop, even as a teacher, because you're not teaching people how to think in these schools. Excuse me. I don't separate teachers from the police. The police are on the same level as teachers to me. As everything. We're all on the plantation. Every single one of us. You work at Amazon, I don't care where you work at. We're all on the plantation. What you do when you get off that plantation determines who you are. What kind of human being you are. You work on the plantation all day and you just go home. Wake up the next day, do it all over again, and then probably like once or twice out the year you take a vacation to show all of us that you got money to take vacations. Show us your house. Show off your car. Because that's all that defines you. I see you. I understand you. But don't try to make me celebrate you. You part of the problem. You're not part of the problem when you start to join organizations to build institutions to change this. That's when you become real. That's when you become pro-black. But till then, you're just another peon, another goofy in the way, whatever, on the plantation. A trader, collaborator.
Separate Negro institutions has in the last decade disappeared by reason of the opening of the doors of the public institutions to colored people.
So all them organizations disappeared when the government opened up its institutions. You see, because before they were using philanthropy. It was charity. These people, the Quakers, these people, whatever, they come, the church, they come, they do this philanthropic work, whatever, to make them seem like they're good people when they're the one milking and stealing from the community. So these are the people that are funding them fake black institutions, fake black schools. And then after that, after they opened it up, the government said we're going to have public schools and all of this goofy stuff. Black people went into those institutions. They went into the government institutions. They didn't create their own. Black leadership didn't say, let's build our own institution, funded by us, for us, by all of us, funded by the people to maintain the people, because that takes sacrifice. They want to get paid for serving the people. What's his name? I saw this dude, one of these fast talking fake activist dudes, man. He on social media talking about some, yo, he not doing nothing if you're not paying him. I'm not going nowhere to speak. If you're not paying me, you got to give me what I'm worth. I'm like, the people got to pay you for you to serve the people? That's what I put in his little thing. I forgot what answer he gave me back. But this is how people think. Anything you do must be monetized. It must be transactional. There's no humanity. There's none of that. Everything is about money. You become, you adopt the ethics of capitalism, of imperialism. To hell with everybody. Burn everything down just to make a penny.
Are many Negroes who on this account strongly oppose efforts which they fear will tend to delay further progress in these lines. On the other hand, thoughtful men see that invaluable training and discipline is coming to the race through these institutions and organizations, and they encourage
What did you say?
What did you say? To delay further progress in these lines. On the other hand, thoughtful men see that invaluable training and discipline is coming to the race through these institutions.
That's the government institutions. You said because like it's coming to the race, they're gonna get all this education, all this knowledge by joining these institutions, these government institutions. That's what that's what he's saying the smart people were thinking back then. They were the smart ones. They were the smart ones thinking people are gonna gain so much from being socialized. Excuse me. Like the Indians. The Indians just showed you. They just showed you what they were doing with the Native Americans then. At the same period, 1896, 1890, it's been, a couple of, not even 200-300 years after they got I don't even think it was that long. I gotta look it up, but I'm gonna look it up and see when they started with them schools for Indians, where they wiped away the culture and everything the Indians knew, and then they tried to make them new. I think it was called Kill the Indians, Save the Men. Some goofy like that. That's what the American government did to the Native Americans. And now when they're bringing it to black people, you got people like W.E.B. Du Bois, all these black traders, telling our people, by us going into these institutions and being remolded into what the government, imperialism, wanted us to be, that was progress. That was Du Bois that was saying that. Africa didn't say that. He said it right here. I'm going to bring it back a little bit. You ready to tell him, Du Bois?
Will tend to delay further progress in these lines. On the other hand, thoughtful men see that invaluable training and discipline is coming to the race through these institutions and organizations, and they encourage the formation of them. Section 36, the experiments of organization. Looking back over the field which we have thus reviewed, the churches, societies, unions, attempts at business cooperation, institutions, and newspapers, it is apparent that the largest hope for the ultimate rise of the Negro lies in this mastery of the art of social organized life. To be sure, compared with his neighbors, he had...
Right there. Right there. I'm going to bring it back again. Because I don't need to rush through this. I got other stuff to talk about, but I don't want to rush through it. I need people to understand what he's saying. Pay attention to what he's saying right here.
Institutions and newspapers. It is apparent that the largest hope for the ultimate rise of the Negro lies in this mastery of the art of social organized life.
Our rise lies within institutions. We're not doing nothing if we don't build institutions. That's the bottom line. He could have stopped the whole book right there. If we don't build institutions that we control, that teaches us what we should know, we're not going nowhere. We're going to stay in this cycle repeating itself.
To be sure, compared with his neighbors, he has as yet advanced but a short distance. We are absent of them this lack of unity, the absence of carefully planned and laboriously executed effort among these people as a voluntary omission, a bit of carelessness. It is far more than this. It is a lack of social education, of group training, and the lack can only be supplied by a long, slow process of growth.
And nobody wants to do that long, slow process of growth. They don't want to give up on their paychecks. They don't want to leave their community. They don't want to leave the suburbs, leave their homes with fireplaces, a pool in the back. They don't want to struggle with the people. Their whole purpose is to get these things. Fly first class. They don't want to give up all of these things, so they're not trying. It's like it's not even that we can't do these things. Those in position of power have refused to do it. That's what he's saying right here.
And the chief value of the organization studies is that they are evidences of growth, of actual accomplishment they have, to be sure, something to show, but nothing to boast of inordinately. The churches are far from ideal associations for fostering the higher life. Rather, they combine too often intrigue, extravagance, and show with all their work, saving, and charity. Their secret societies are often diverted from their better ends by scheming and dishonest officers, and by the temptation of tinsel and braggadocio. Their beneficial associations, along with all their good work, have an unenviable record of business inefficiency and internal dissension. And yet all these and other agencies have accomplished much, and their greatest accomplishment is stimulation of effort to further and more effective organization among a disorganized and headless host.
So what he's saying is those free black people in all those organizations, institutions that they produce, they exploit the masses of the people in those organizations. But he's saying because they're showing that it can be done, this is something good. Let me bring it back a little bit. But he's saying because they're showing that you can have these institutions, that black folks who build these institutions, that is a positive. Let me bring it back. Listen clearly to what this
record of business inefficiency and internal dissension. And yet all these and other agencies have accomplished much, and their greatest accomplishment is stimulation of effort to further and more effective organization among a disorganized and headless host.
We, those of us, those on the plantation that were slaves, all of us, he's saying we are a headless host. There's no head to our bodies. Like, and what he means by that is all of you that's listening to this, all of our bodies. Capitalism uses our bodies to make money. You get up in the morning, you take your body, you go however you get to work, and you punch in and you do whatever the work you do for this masters. And then once you leave, you go home. Like there's no head there. There's no head of you building your own institutions. Doing it, you're a headless host. You're just a host moving through these plantations. And once you, like, if you try to, like, have your own integrity, grow your own mind, grow ahead, they will fire you. Because once you start pointing out the contradictions, they will get rid of you. So you have to be a headless host. Just go into these jobs and just do these jobs and shut your mouth.
This world of cooperation and subordination into which the white child is in most cases born is, we must not forget, new to the slave's sons. They have been compelled to organize before they knew the meaning of organization, to cooperate with those of their fellows to whom cooperation was an unknown term, to fix and fasten ideas of leadership and authority among those who had always looked to others for guidance and command. For these reasons, the present efforts of Negroes in working together along with various lines are peculiarly promising for the future of both races. Section 37, History of Negro Crime in the City. From his earliest advent, the Negro, as was natural.
This is another important part. They always talk about crime everywhere. They always talk about crime in our community. Crime. Little petty stuff, the stuff that the people on the plantation do. Crime. But he's not talking about slavery here. When he talk about crime, you're not going to hear Du Bois say anything about slavery. They're going to be talking about little petty stuff like what they call it, window something, whatever they used to call it in New York. I mean, when they stop and frisk, all of that stuff for committing minor crimes, BS crimes. This is what back then they were still talking about that crime. Why? There's people owning other human beings around them. People exploiting other human beings, creating systems to exploit people. What they call that now? RICO. They could be hitting all them people with RICO. But the only crime he's talking about is poor people. Listen to him.
Has figured largely in the criminal annals of Philadelphia. Only such superficial study of the American Negro as dates his beginning with 1863 can neglect this past record of crime in studying the present. Crime is a phenomenon of organized social life and is the open rebellion of an individual against his social environment.
Yeah, you just explain what crime is. I mean, crime has nothing to do with the individual. Crime has something to do with the system, with the society at hand, and how that person reacts to that society. What do I mean by that? You go to the worst schools. There are no jobs. The job's not paying enough. Your manhood, your character is all determined by money, how much money you have. How is all of those things going to impact the decision you make to move in that society? In most communities, people participate in underground economies. That's what they call it. They have a name for it. Because there's no other way for people to make money to survive. They can't be. Then you can't have capitalism. You can't be. If everybody good, capitalism couldn't exist. Because the main point of capitalism is to exploit. You must take more than what you give for capitalism to survive. The owners, they must take more than what they gave. You can never make what you're valued. That's how capitalism works. And he's telling you these phenomena, the society, things going on in society, is what dictate, crime. Yo, I'm even disagreeing with that whole definition he just laid out. Because what that got to do with slavery? Why are you even calling what these people are doing crime? It's like, to me, it's like a woman is kidnapped, locked in a room, and she's being raped. And the person that's raping her comes in the room and she slit his throat. That's not a crime. Not a crime. What are you talking about? She's supposed to slit his throat. You got people living in the community, they can't afford to eat. They're supposed to rob you. Anybody that come in there, any business person that come in the community is supposed to be conked upside the head. You're supposed to rob them. How you going to eat and I'm going to be starving? That don't make no sense. And it's not like it's natural. It's not organic. You have created a system to make sure I starve, my children starve. They're living with lead, poison water, no heat. You have created that system. And then if I do something like you want to talk about what I've done as a crime, this is how they rationalize reality. And that's why when he's talking about crime, he's talking about poor people, people that's on the plantation, people that just came off the plantation that don't know how to read, don't have no home, don't have the ability to do anything because they've been working on the plantation picking cotton for somebody for generations. And they deprive them of reading. And once those people get off the plantation, their behavior, you criminalize it. It changed, bro. Like, yo, it's the same wave. And you still have people like Du Bois, intellectuals in that class, that blame the people for what's going on. And I'm going to bring it back a little bit so you can hear him say it again. Where crime come from?
3. Can neglect this past record of crime in studying the present. Crime is a phenomenon of organized social life and is the open rebellion of an individual against his social environment. Naturally, then, if men are suddenly transported from one environment to another, the result is lack of harmony with the new conditions, lack of harmony with the new physical surroundings, leading to disease and death or modification of physique, lack of harmony with social surroundings, leading to crime. Thus, very early in the history of the colony characteristic, complaints of the disorder of the Negro slaves is heard. In 1693, July 11th, the Governor and Council approved an ordinance upon the request of some of the members of Council that an order be made by the Court of Quarter Sessions for the County of Philadelphia, the 4th July instant, proceeding upon the presentment of the grand jury for the body of the county, the tumultuous gatherings of Negroes of the town of Philadelphia on the first days of the week, ordering the constables of Philadelphia or any other person whatsoever to have power to take of Negroes, male or female, whom they should find gauding abroad on the said first days of the week, without a ticket from their Mr. or Mrs., or not in their compa, or to carry them to Gaol, there to remain that night, and that without meat or drink, and to cause them to be publicly whipped next morning with 39 lashes, well laid on their bare backs, for which their Mr. or Mrs. should pay 15 to the whipper, etc.
You hear that? Yo, when you go to jail now, when you get locked up in the county, they make you. I don't know if they still do that, but I know they make you pay for getting locked up. Yo, he's saying right here for people gathering outside, for them to be outside, for black people, not black people, them slaves, for them to gather and being outside, that they should grab them. Anybody can grab them and report them in, and they're gonna whip them. First, they're going to lock them up. You ain't going to eat that night. You ain't going to get nothing. And then the next morning, you should get some lashes and your Mr. or your Mrs., whatever, your owner is going to pay for that. That's what they consider crime, black people coming together. They consider that crime, coming together, having fun, smiling, laughing, joking. That was a crime. So they made a law that you would get lashes. And listen to how serious this is.
Penn himself introduced the law for the
Penn himself, Richard, what was it? Something Penn, Richard Penn? Is it Richard Penn? Well, anyway, Pennsylvania. He himself introduced the law. That's what they named Pennsylvania after. Listen to this.
Special trial and punishment of Negroes very early in the history of the colony, as has been noted before. The slave code finally adopted was mild compared with legislation of the period, but it was severe enough to show the unruly character of many of the imported slaves. Especially in Philadelphia,
the unruly character of the imported slaves. This is the slave is who is unruly, that you need to punish. You see, this is what happens when criminals make the rules. When sociopaths make the rules. The slave, the person that's being kidnapped, that's who's unruly and needs to be punished. And these people go along with it. Those free black people, they went along with all of this stuff. The bourgeois black people, the same bourgeois black class of today, they're still here. Your celebrities, your entertainers, your politicians, your academics, all of these people, those bourgeois people, they ain't going nowhere. But they agree with all of this. They co-sign all of this. Yo, they didn't mount. Those free black people, 500,000 of them, they didn't go out and mount anything to try to go liberate black people, free them from the plantation. The FBA, FDA, Foundational Black, all them people, they wasn't doing nothing to go liberate nobody. They were part of the system. They were trying to be part of the, like they had their own, like let's say the white people had their own bank. They were trying to create their own bank too, to exploit the people. They wanted to be just like Massa.
People continue to give general trouble, not so much by serious crime as by disorder. In 1732, under Mayor Hassel, the city council, taking under consideration the frequent and tumultuous meetings of the Negro slaves, especially on Sunday, gaming, cursing, swearing, and committing many other disorders, to the great terror and disquiet of the inhabitants of the city, ordered an ordinance to be drawn up against such disturbances.
So the slaves, after they pick cotton on the plantation the whole week, on the low time that they get together with it, they're having fun, they're laughing, celebrating, all of that stuff. Yo, these people went and wrote a law. Wrote Wrote a law to do what? Go ahead, tell us, Du Bois.
Again, 6 years later, we hear of the draft of another city ordinance for the more effectual suppressing tumultuous meetings and other disorderly doings of the Negroes, mulattoes, and Indian servants and slaves. And in 1741, August 17th, frequent complaints have been made to the board that many disorderly persons meet every evening about the courthouse of this city, and great numbers of Negroes and others sit there with milk pails and other things late at night, and many disorders are there committed against the peace and good government of this city.
Who do you think is reporting these black people, these slaves? Because they're not living around white people. Who do you think is reporting them? Yo, other black people, yo. Other black people are reporting them. Them free Negroes, them free black folks back then, they're reporting the slaves, the masters, for masters to write laws. You know how these Negroes be like, yo, you got to make the gun sentences more stiffer. We need to lock up all these kids. We need more police in our community. You know how them Negroes be saying that? The middle class Negroes, those are all.
Chairman, the Negroes that supported the crime bill.
Yeah, the Negroes that supported the crime bill. These Negroes, those are the Negroes we're talking about. They've always been here. They've always been here. And those are the ones right now reporting this black people that they call slaves, that are our slaves, that they've enslaved. So after you're on the plantation all week, sun up to sundown, you know, like we do now. And then you go to a club. The police got to shut the club down. Y'all can't be going to the club. Y'all can't party till all night. Yo, the club got to shut down at 2 o'clock. They got to shut down at whatever. They do that now. You go into our communities. They tell you how long that business can stay open, how long that stuff can stay open. You got to go get a liquor license from them. You got to get all kind of stuff from them. They got to allow you to do anything you do out here. We still going through that now. Nothing changes.
Council ordered the place to be cleared in half an hour after sunset. Of the graver crimes by Negroes, we have only reports here and there which do not make it clear how.
Yo, so you work from sun up to sundown. This is half an hour after the sun come down, these spaces has to be cleared. So you work from sun up to sundown. By the time you get home, everything is cleared. You can't even go nowhere. You got to just go back and go to sleep and wake up and get ready to work on Monday. Same thing now, man. Same thing now. Everybody think like slavery, slavery, slavery. We're not slaves no more. You free. No, you're free to go get your own lodging. You're free to go get your own place where you're free to work for us, for you to make the same money that we would have used to try to house you and feed you and clothe you. So now we're not going to do that no more. Just come to our corporation, our company, work, and go back home. And you go find a place to stay. But make sure you're back here at 7 o'clock, 9 o'clock in the morning. And you're going to work from sun up to sundown. But you know what? We don't even have to close the businesses down. We don't have to tell you, like, by 6:30, by in 30 minutes for you to go home. We ain't got to tell you that no more. You just got to work 2-3 jobs now. By the time you get home, you ain't going to have no energy to go anywhere. You're going to just go home, go to sleep. And you're going to think like that's what you want to do. You want to go home and go to sleep. You don't want to go nowhere. You don't want to go organize, go to meetings, because that's what they're trying to stop. They're trying to stop you organizing, coming together to talk together, because they know when you start coming together, organizing, talking together, you're going to start strategizing together. Now, we can't have none of that for the slaves, because this was for the slaves. It wasn't for the freedmen. This was all for the slaves. The freedmen, the free black people, they helped the government do this to the slaves. You're not going to get none of this when you go to your history school, to your classes, to your public schools. They're not going to teach you that. That black teacher in front of you is trying to teach you like all black people were slaves. They're not going to teach you that they have free black people that was helping to enslave the other black people. This is where this whole class thing starts from. That's why Fred Hampton said, we're in a class struggle, goddammit. Don't come over here talking that black stuff to me. When I know what George Jackson said, Any black person that passes the civil exam test can kill me tomorrow. Not quote for quote. He said something like that. That's George Jackson. Any black person that worked for the government. That's what he was really saying. Any black person that worked for the government can kill me tomorrow. Because all they care about is the money, is their paycheck. If they told them to go kill you, they will kill you. If they say go kill Africa, they will kill Africa. All they care about is that paycheck. That's what George Jackson was talking about. But they don't want us to come together. Because he's going to tell you in a second what happens when we come together.
Frequently, such crimes occurred. In 1706, a slave is arrested for setting fire to a dwelling. In 1738, 3 Negroes are hanged in neighboring parts of New Jersey for poisoning people,
While at Rocky Hill, a slave is burned alive for killing a child and burning a barn.
Whipping of Negroes at the public whipping post was frequent, and so severe was the punishment that in 1743, a slave brought up to be whipped committed suicide. In 1762, 2 Philadelphia slaves were sentenced to death for felony and burglary. Petitions were circulated in their behalf, but counsel was obdurate. Little special mention of Negro crime is again met with until the freedmen under the Act of 1780 began to congregate in the city and other free immigrants joined them. In 1809, the leading colored churches united in a society to suppress crime and were cordially endorsed by the public for this action. After the war, immigration to the city increased and the stress of hard times bore heavily on the lower classes. Complaints of petty thefts and murderous assaults on peaceable citizens.
Hey, yo, when he's saying after the war, immigration increased, he's talking about black slaves. He's talking about the slaves that came from the South. That's what he's talking about. Immigration increased. He's talking about other slaves. You see, when you hear the rhetoric, when you hear black people talking about immigration, pointing at immigration, it's the same people. You may have, yes, you have people from the plantation, from the lower class that regurgitate the same arguments. But they don't know no better. They're ignorant. So it just sounds good to them. They're too lazy to study, so they regurgitate the same goofy stuff. Call themselves foundational. Foundational to what? They're not foundational to nothing. This land, it belonged to the Native Americans. It didn't belong to you. You're not foundational anything. If you're delusional that you come from Africa, that's a psychological thing that you need to go deal with. But you're not foundational to nothing. You're not foundational to this space. But you see, but people from the lower class that know no better, that hear this from the higher class, they adapt all these ignorant ideas. And then they try to build on them with more ignorance. And then they get to the point where you can't even talk to this person because they're married to those ideas that they hold. So it's pointless even having a conversation with them because they start to look at you as if you're the enemy. I don't even bother.
Now began to increase, and in numbers of cases they were traced to Negroes. The better class of colored citizens felt the accusation and held a meeting to denounce crime and take
the better class of Negro citizens, not the slaves. She's talking about this half white, half black people that the slave masters freed that had different businesses. Now they didn't have businesses where they had the slaves at. They had to move. They had to move to areas where they could do things where there wasn't slavery around there. But these the better class of Negroes he's talking about. You see, like they're up here in Philly. They're not down south. They're in Philly. They're in Jersey. Yo, we all the way up north. But those same practices were still around here in the surrounding areas.
A firm stand against their own criminal class. A little later, the Negroes.
Oh, what do you say? What do you say? What did they do against their?
The better class of colored citizens felt the accusation and held a meeting to denounce crime and take a firm stand against their own criminal class.
You hear that? So these good black folks, they had meetings to talk down, to decry the rest of the field Negroes, the slaves. That's what they did. Like they do now. Yo, there was a snowball fight, and the police came to harass the people there, and they got hit with snowballs. And then they said the adults, whatever, the people there should be arrested. Yo, they had this black dude that said he was part of the clergy. I should have put the video on. He coming out saying we can't be assaulting our police officers. Black dude. That anybody that disrespect our police officers should be held accountable. Black dude. Black chaplain from New York saying they should come and lock up black people. Because you know a white person can't come out and say that. A white official can't just come out and say that. Everybody going to be like, yo, you racist. But these Negro, no shame, just come out and say it on national TV and just walk around like everything cool. That's where we at.
A little later, the Negro riots commenced, and they received their chief moral support from the increasing crime of Negroes. A Cuban slave framed his master with a hatchet. 2 other murders by Negroes followed, and gambling, drunkenness, and debauchery were widespread wherever Negroes settled. The terribly vindictive insurrection of Nat Turner in the neighboring state frightened the citizens, and gambling,
I had to bring
drunkenness,
that back.
and debauchery were widespread wherever Negroes settled. The terribly vindictive insurrection of Nat.
You see how he what was the word? He captured that. Look how he captured what happened with Nat Turner. The terribly vindictive insurrection of Nat Turner. It was vindictive. For him to try to cut all them crackers' heads off. It was vindictive. It wasn't revolutionary. It wasn't trying to free yourself. It was just being vindictive. This is what Du Bois said about it. This is what Du Bois. You think people from the class of Du Bois were trying to help Nat Turner, the slave on the plantation, trying to liberate himself? This is how they caption their behavior, just like they do the same thing now when these people, when you have a Mark Lamont Hill. What was the other one? Between My Father and Me. All these goofy, fake black intellectuals that's supposed to be speaking for us.
Ta-Nehisi Coates.
Yeah, Ta-Nehisi Coates, that guy too. All of them. All these people. The terribly vindictive insurrection of Nat Turner. See, I'm not making that up. I'm not saying, yo, Du Bois, yo, I'm not just lying. This is from the book. This is words from the book. That's how he viewed Nat Turner. Nat Turner, probably one of the greatest heroes we ever had. He called his act vindictive. So guess what they did when the government grabbed Nat Turner? You think they went over there trying to liberate Nat Turner, trying to free Nat Turner? They were pro-black. They turned their back on Nat Turner. Every single one of them. I mean, but Nat Turner should have told you what was going to come with Malcolm, what was going to come with Fred Hampton. But every time these leaders rose up, George Jackson in prison, every time these leaders rose up, these black traitors, boule, bougie, sons of bitches are going to do nothing. Nothing. And let these people just take us away. Snuff us out.
Turner in a neighboring state frightened the citizens so thoroughly that when some black fugitives actually arrived at Chester from Southampton County, Virginia, the legislature was hastily appealed to, and the whole matter came to a climax in the disenfranchisement of the Negro in 1837 and the riots in the years 1830 to 1840. The Eastern Tennessee.
You know, all them riots is telling you like them slaves wasn't just taking it. Them slaves wasn't just taking it, bro. Like when Kanye said like, yo, we allowed this whatever. Bro, you want to say something, Ibrahim? No, my bad. I thought you were muted. Go ahead.
No, I ain't got nothing to say.
Oh, okay. Nah, I thought you were muted yourself.
You're hearing something.
Nah, but yeah, when you hear Kanye and all these people saying what they're saying, talking about like, yo, we no. People from the plantation was fighting back. You hear about Nat Turner because that was probably huge. That was big. But Denmark Vesey. And, yo, the story of Denmark Vesey, yo, every black person will go see that movie. If they made a movie of Denmark Vesey, everybody would go. But this is not what our artists are doing. They're being called nigger in France trying to be around white people, and then they expected me to feel sad because some white person over there called them nigger. Like, what you expect them to call you? At this day and age, what you think this is? You see, but that's that bourgeois class. They think they white. Complaining, telling me they call me nigger. Man, shut up, nigger. Like, who you think you talking to? Why are you even over there?
Penitentiary was opened in 1829 near the close of the year. The total number of persons received here for the most serious crimes is given in the next table. This includes prisoners from the eastern counties of the state, but a large proportion were from Philadelphia.
Oh, I missed the part where he said when they came down, like after Nat Turner, all of that, they didn't want to accept these people coming down for after slavery. But look here, officers and the person. Let me see. Does it have the Negroes? Now remember, the black people are always like back then probably like 5-6% of the population. But look at these numbers. Look at these numbers. These are the people that were locked up. Look at these numbers, bro. It makes absolutely no sense. It's the same numbers today. Makes absolutely no sense. See, but we keep the bourgeois class, this same class of people. And if anybody has different information to show me, to show that during slavery, the free black people during slavery, the overwhelming majority of the free black people during slavery were not these people. This boule people. This half slave, half white master, whatever they want to quantify, however they want to call themselves. These were the free people. This was the first class, the class system. The class system started from somewhere. These were the first bourgeois Negroes. And their whole philosophy was becoming European, becoming white, becoming like the white people. They were not here trying to be pro-black, pro-Africa, trying to liberate nobody. Whenever they mentioned Africa, it was to what? To credibility. For social credibility, so other black people could see themselves in it. But it wasn't to build no relationships with their homeland, where they came from. And when they did go back to Africa, because it's the same boule class, the same bourgeoisie class, when they went to Africa, what they do in Africa? They turned the Africans into slaves. They took over the land and made the natives that were there slaves. These are the people we talk about. I have no ties to these people. These are not my people, even though they are my people. But they're not my people. I don't recognize them. And what I mean by that, when I say they're not my people, our history started in Mississippi. My people, my mother's family left from Mississippi and went to Liberia. They were part of that class that went to Liberia and went over there and colonized the people in Liberia. Like when you learn your history, you learn things. But those people didn't fight for me. They didn't fight for our liberation. They fought to be one with empire. As a Panther, we encounter all of that. This was a deep one right here.
Or to put it differently, the problem of Negro crime in Philadelphia from 1830 to 1850 arose from the fact that less than 1/14 of the population was responsible for nearly a third of the serious crimes committed.
Damn.
These figures, however, are apt to relate more especially to a criminal class. A better measure of the normal criminal tendencies of the group would perhaps be found in the statistics of Mayamsing, where ordinary cases of crime and misdemeanor are confined and which contains only county prisoners. The figures for Mayamsing prison are: here we have even a worse showing than before. In 1896, the Negroes, forming 4% of the population, furnished 9% of the rest. But in 1850, being 5% of the population, they furnished 32% of the prisoners received at the county prison. Of course, there are some considerations which must not be overlooked in interpreting these figures for 1836 to 1855.
Hey, y'all see the years?
It must be remembered that the discrimination against the Negro was much greater then than now. He was arrested for less cause and given longer sentences than whites. Great.
So this dude is a complete idiot. He's saying when he wrote this book that it was greater then than now when he was writing it. Yo, we're in 2026. Yo, we make up what they say 13, 12, 14% of the population. But you go into these jails, 60, 70, 80% of the people that are in those jails look just like us. And we already know none of this has anything to do with justice. They target who they want to make the criminal class. We already know that, but Du Bois saying like it was worse back then than now. No, man, I disagree with you, my guy. Yeah, you Du Bois, but I'm African. I'm disagreeing with you. No, it wasn't worse back then. It's worse now.
Numbers of those arrested and committed for trial were never brought to trial, so that their guilt could not be proven or disproven.
And 90% of the people that get locked up today cop out. I copped out too. So why do they cop out? Yo, they catch you for one crime, you charge for like 25 things. So no matter what you do, no matter how you go in there, what law you get to go in there, they're going to find you guilty for something and give you like 20 years. So you go in there, you're looking at 30, 40 years. I take the 5 years. You take the 5 years, you can't do nothing. You can't live nowhere. You can't get a job nowhere. They systematically remove you from the society. This is what they're doing. This is the strategy that they're playing. And all of that should be illegal. All of that should be crime. But you got people that run around calling themselves lawyers, calling themselves judges. They're acting like good people because they're working down at the police station. They're working down at the courthouse. All these people are part of the grift. 90%. He's talking here. Most of the people, that they don't even go to trial because they don't want to have to prove that the person is guilty. You know what they did to take care of all of that? How the system got mature, because people like to say, yo, things are different from slavery time. Things are different from slavery time. Yo, these people evolve in their strategy on oppressing people. It's a different strategy, but the results is still the same. You have no power. You're still at the bottom of society. There's nothing you can do to change anything. They have all the power. It's still the same. Go look, Google it in your phone. Look up the people that get convicted. How many people when they go to trial? Out of everybody in that jail, over 90% of people cop out because the system has been rigged that you're not gonna win. You're not going in there to win, man. You think football is rigged? You think basketball is rigged? This court system is rigged. And you know what? You can't afford a lawyer. We'll just give you the dumbest one we got. And then we'll give him like 1,000 cases. So he don't even know who you are when you walk up in the courtroom. You don't know nothing about your case. Just come in and try to get you to plead out. That's the world we living in. That's the reality I know.
Of 737 Negroes committed for trial in 6 months of the year 1837, it is stated that only 123 were actually brought to trial.
In when? 1837, whatever you just said. That's back then. 1837. We in 2026, and it's the same thing going on. Everybody copping out, but you think we free like things done changed. What are you talking about? I ain't no slave. I'm free. That's in your head. You the one that's thinking like you a slave because you don't understand how they got you still in servitude. You have no understanding of anything. But you're what they've created. You're a creation of them. You're a creation, so you argue everything. You debate everything. You rationalize everything.
Of the prisoners in the Eastern Penitentiary, 1829 to 1846, 14% of the whites were pardoned and 2% of the Negroes. All these considerations increased the statistics to the disfavor of the Negro. Nevertheless, making all reasonable allowances, it is undoubtedly true that the crime of Negroes in this period reached its high tide for this city. The character of the crimes committed by Negroes compared with whites is shown by the following table, which covers the offenses of 1,359 whites and 718 Negroes committed to the Eastern Penitentiary 1829 to 1846. If we take simply petty larceny, we find that 48.8% of the whites and 55% of the Negroes were committed for this offense.
Petty larceny. See, that's petty crimes. Who commit those crimes? Poor people. The whites commit them, and the black people commit them.
You know, after 1776, it was the United States of America that was enslaved.
No, I didn't hear you. Go ahead, say that again.
I said after 1776, it was the United States of America that was enslaving people. It went from a British territory to the United States of America. When you catch, so it's you versus the United States of America. You catch a federal case, what they gonna put on that affidavit after that cause number is gonna be the United States of America versus you. So they got American resources, how many ever they want to go get to go against you. If it's a state case, it's gonna be a state. So for me, it would have been Indiana versus Ibrahim Tanner, right? Just little old me, but you got the whole state. So you were talking about how, you know, people think that times has changed from slavery till now, right? But it's still the state or the nation versus you.
Versus you. And you sitting there, and all the rules they have on the books. All the rules. Yo, I used to be sitting there talking about, yo, you only got 6 months to get indicted. You only got this. If they don't do this, man, they always get an extension, or they always come up with a reason to whatever they did wrong. Like they talking about, yo, if your fingerprints, if this, that, if they don't have no weapon, man, all of that is a lie. If they want to lock you up, if they want to throw away the key, they're going to lock you up and throw away the key. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Nothing. That's where we at.
The confidential informant picked me out of a lineup that I wasn't even a part of. I wasn't even in the photo. They got the evidence in my, I forgot what they call it. It's been so long. But they got the evidence.
Hold on. You say that happened to you?
Yeah, he picked me out of a lineup because I got the, I forgot what you call it, when you ask to get the evidence that they have to get you. Anyway, a part of my evidence is a lineup that I'm like, ain't none of these people me. Ain't none of these people me. How do you get me out of a group of 6 men that's not me? But I guess we all black, so we all the same at the end of the day. It don't really matter.
Hey, yo, when they took me, they described me. I was like 6. I think I like 6'4". I think light skin with dreads or something. I ain't had dreads at that point. I went and got it later. But when they describe me, that's how they describe me. I mean, that's all they get. Like, we just talking. Almost every black man that grew up in this community has got a story to tell you how they came after them.
The offenses of 1,359 whites and 718 Negroes committed to the Eastern Penitentiary, 1829 to 1846. If we take simply petty larceny, we find that 48.8% of the...
But what is petty larceny? That's the end of this. That's the end of this chapter, whatever. But petty larceny, like you stealing petty stuff. It's not. I don't know how much it was now. I think up to $100 they consider it a felony, whatever. But if it's petty larceny, it's some BS, something little. But they started trafficking people into these jail systems. They control them, so they basically destroy your whole life. Where we at right? Oh, this is the institution video. This is from one of my mans, one of the homies. Yo, I want you to listen to this real quick, because it fits in with the idea of institutions. This is what institutions do, what he's about to explain to you.
A lion raised in the wild knows exactly who he is. He doesn't negotiate with cages, not because he's violent, but because he understands his nature. If you want a lion to live in a zoo, you don't take him when he's grown. You take him as a cub. You raise him behind bars. You feed him on schedule. You teach him the cage is normal.
Those are the institutions. Without the institutions, without our own institutions, this is what's going on with our children. When we produce our children, we put them into these schools. They teach them how to be slaves, how to accept everything around them, not to understand who they are and what their purpose is. That's what these schools is for. That's what they do. And if we want to change that, we must build our own institutions that teach them that they are the lion. But if you don't do that, we just jerking wreck.
On schedule, you teach him the cage is normal. And one day, he stops seeing the bars at all. That's how systems survive, not through force, but through early belief. Sunrise exists to change that story, not by tearing down cages, but by raising children who know they were never meant to live in one.
Damn, that's his school. He has a home school, Sunrise. He has a home school. I mean, that he's teaching them to be human beings. Yo, my man Will breaking it down, man.
They were never meant to live in one. Children who learn who they are early, who understand their strength, who grow up knowing that structure should support freedom, not replace it. Sunrise isn't about rebellion. It's about remembrance. Because once you know who you are, freedom is no longer a choice. It's your nature.
Hey, yo. It's not about rebellion. It's about structure. Because once you understand all those institutions mean nothing without us, you don't need to go to them. What you going over there to go take over them for? Because that's what they keep talking about. You hear all this bougie people talking about something. We need to go take over our government. That ain't your government, dummy. How you going to go take care of over your government? You going to replace all the judges? You going to replace all the politicians? You going to replace all the police? Who you got? What army you got that's going to do all of that? How about you just build your own institution? Huh? How about you just build your own to free your own people? But that's not what they want to do, though. Thank you, Will. Like we say, everything we do is based off science, based off evidence. I want you to listen to UEP Newton. Like we're going on to more serious stuff right now. I mean, and I need you to understand our viewpoint, our standpoint, where we come from. Talk to him, Comrade Huey.
I plan to go on with our expansion and also to make even a stronger tie with the struggling people of the world, because they represent 2/3 of the people. The colonized world, or the developing countries, are also the colored world. And American imperialism is implicated in all of those puppet governments that control these developing countries. In other words, if America withdraws its support from Greece, that Greek regime will fall. If America withdraws its support from
black people are talking about something. What other people still with us? We're not standing with nobody. I'm not standing with nobody. I mean, nobody come over here to stand with us. UEP Newton is telling you. Our struggle is a class one. It's imperialism. I stand with all poor people around the world. That's what he's saying. So if you hear a Black Panther, if you see a Black Panther right anywhere, social media, see them anywhere speaking, and they're talking about black people only fight for black people, they have no political education. They don't know what they're talking about. What Panther are they following? What history are they following that's teaching them that?
The puppet government of South Vietnam, Vietnamese people within. So what I'm saying is we got to hook up.
Gotta cut that sound.
Only understand the situation internationally, and in order to do this, that we are going to commit troops. We're going to commit troops to the Vietnamese people, the National Liberation Front, to fight the cowardly American aggressor. And the Black Panther Party. That's right.
Now, when are you going to do that?
I'm going to do this as soon as I'm released.
He said the Black Panther Party is going to commit troops to Vietnam. He said, when you going to do that? He said, as soon as I am released. He's in jail right now. He said, as soon as I'm released. Go ahead, tell him.
I'm going to make this known at the Paris peace talks so that it can be accepted or rejected by the Vietnamese people. But in the spirit of internationalism and the spirit of international solidarity, we plan to do this, and we would do this for any people who are fighting against American imperialism.
You want to get together blacks to go to Vietnam and fight against America?
Now listen to that. You want to get together blacks to go over there, go fight over there. Listen to what he's saying. Because remember, when everybody say being a Panther, you got to be black. Being a Panther, you got to be black. I need you all to listen to what UEP Newton is saying. This ain't what Africa said, Huey said. This is coming out of Huey's mouth. The question was, you're going to get all black people to go over there? Go ahead, tell them, Huey.
We want to get revolutionary people to go to Vietnam.
Revolutionary people to go to Vietnam. Go ahead, finish telling them. Revolutionary people. Just because you're black, that don't make you revolutionary.
I hope some weathermen go also. As far as the party, we don't think in terms really of black and white. We only think of that when we try to analyze American society, which is a racist society.
We don't think of it as black and white. The only way we think about it is like when we're analyzing the American society, because the American society is racist. So that's what you talk about. But the black and white, Pantherism goes way past racism. Pantherism is past that. We're not worrying about, like, color. The color of your skin is by and large not why you're suffering. You're suffering because of imperialism, because of the class structure, and is using your blackness to stratify you into a section where they're suffering you over here. But they got different stratification of people suffering. But the main thing, your main enemy, is imperialism.
But we're internationalists, we're anti-racist, we're not even national chauvinists.
We're not chauvinists. We don't look down on women. Women are equal. He's saying this in the 60s. Women are equal. We don't think we're better than women. You don't come here to be part of our organization and you look down on our other half. Because it's 50-50 to make the whole. You look down on them. You think you're better than them. You think because you're a man, you're better than them. Or you think because you're a woman, you're smarter. Or you should be getting more privileges. Whatever. We don't do none of that. We are all equal. We are all comrades in the struggle. But you're listening to Huey say that. You ain't listening to Africa say it.
As I say, we're internationalists in every sense of the word. Here, our party is composed of blacks simply because of the reality, the cultural reality in the country. I think that
because of the cultural reality in the country. But why am I showing this? Why did I show the institution video prior to this? This is what we should be teaching in our schools if we had our own schools. This is not what the schools should send your children to teach them. When you send your child from whatever, preschool, whatever, early child care, all kind of goofy stuff. When you send your child, they're now learning to think like this. When we say we need to build our own institutions, this is what we are talking about teaching in there. That we are all one. It's us against those at the top. That's what every day when you come to school, that's why you come to school. For you to learn how to wage this war against our enemies. You understand you have a purpose for coming there. You have a purpose for waking up. Every day you wake up, imagine you're a kid. Every day you wake up, you know you're going to learn to be able to defend the people. And then when you go, you learn these things, you come back with your report card. The report card really means something. Because now you bring the report card, you're able to say things, show stuff that you learned that are going to help fight our revolution. That's a whole different kind of education. Like right now, the kids come home with a report card, man, it could be all A's, whatever. They don't know nothing. They just know how to repeat whatever they said. They know how to take a test. But you get your kid come home in the first grade, and like he bring the report card, and he's telling you, he's able to tell you what combat liberalism is. Hit you, like explain, like have all the laws in combat liberalism. That's what you mean by education. But that's not what they do out here. I mean, that's not what we do. Instead, what we get is lies. Everybody know we all woke up. We all woke up. We all woke up to this. Let me start here. We all woke up to this. Let's listen to Goofy real quick.
The United States military began major combat operations in Iran. Our objective is to defend the American people by eliminating imminent threats from the Iranian regime.
Pause. To defend the American people. Is he talking about us? From the imminent threat of the Iranian regime. Who are he talking about? Who is he talking about? He ain't talking about me. Iran is not a threat to me. I don't know if anybody here, if Iran is a threat to you, let me know. But this is the person that they got. This is the mascot that these rich people got running around telling us. The reason why they're going to war to go bomb people that did nothing to them, did nothing to me, is because of me. That's why I got paid $2,500 for rent. That's why I got to work 3 jobs. And gas about to go up. Gas already up now. Everything about to go up. Because they went and started a war with Iran. trying to steal from Iran. But that's what he's saying. That was his first thing he said, that they did it for me. I mean, like, we could take a vote in the group chat. Yo, 1, for, that they went to war for you. 2, he lying. That's in the group chat.
A vicious group of very hard, terrible people. Its menacing activities directly endanger the United States, our troops, our bases overseas, and our allies throughout the world. For 47 years, the Iranian regime has chanted death to America and waged an unending campaign of bloodshed and mass murder.
Who's been doing that in the last 47 years? Yo, how many wars has Iran been in the last 47 years? How many wars has Iran been in the last 60 years? In the last 100 years? Because when you're talking about Iran, you got to understand they've been around for centuries. This is the Persian government. Persia, before America was even thought of. These people been here for thousands of years. Listen to this buffoon. Talking about what they've done, who they've done, who have they attacked? Who has Iran bombed? Who they been killing all these years? Who been running around bombing everybody, got military bases everywhere? You see, but to be an American, you got to be insane. You got to be delusional that somebody can come up here and spew this crap. Yo, I find this insulting. We ain't even go like 20 seconds into it.
Targeting the United States, our troops, and the innocent people in many, many countries. Among the regime's very first...
Everything he has said since he started talking has been a complete lie.
First acts was to back a violent takeover of the U.S. Embassy in Tehran, holding dozens of American hostages for 444 days.
He going back to when they took over the embassy. Go ahead, Ibrahim, go ahead.
It's their embassy. That's the first thing he got correct, but he mischaracterized it. It was in Iran. It was their embassy. Oh, you mad because they knocked that puppet up out of there that was giving y'all 40% of the oil profits?
Nah, all power to the people. No, he's going back and he's lying about that. He's lying about the history of what's going on, because that's how America exists. America exists by lying, by pulling the wool over your eye. Yo, like I said,
Megabyte got his hand up.
You say what?
Megabyte has his hand up.
Go ahead, Megabyte.
Afternoon, folks. All power to the people.
All power to the people.
Sorry for being a little late, but I came in at the perfect time. I was actually late because I was really heavily impacted by the news of the bombing of Iran with the, I don't know if you saw, we bombed a school for girls and killed over a dozen young girls. What's that?
We didn't get there yet, comrade. I got all of that.
Remember one of the first Bush hit was the school as well.
Well, I'll let you get to that later, but it inspired me to reach out to one of my personal favorite history teachers whose daughter is also an educator. She was my age. We were really good friends, and shared a bit about the actions I'm taking and get some support in helping with my goals to revitalize some community-sourced education. So that was the conversation I was having before I jumped on this call, so it was very appropriate to jump in at this moment.
All power to the people. And you're going to keep jumping in, too. When we get to that school, however you feel. This is a conversation for all of us. However you feel, give your input. But let's go back to Trump. More lies to try to justify the unjustifiable.
In 1983, Iran's proxies carried out the Marine barracks bombing in Beirut that killed 241 American military personnel. In 2000, they knew and were probably involved with the attack on the USS Cole. Many died.
You know who they blamed the USS Cole on? They blamed it on Osama. When the police pull you over and they get a gun on one person, you know what they do? Everybody that's in that car got possession of that gun. It's the same thing they do overseas. Like, they just keep bringing back stuff. The USS Cole. It's been a while since I read up on it. But I think Osama had told them, don't come around here. If you come around here, you bring your ships over here trying to steal from us over here, we going to blow you out the water. We going to do something to you. I think he wrote them a letter or whatever, or put it on video, and he told them. And they go over there, they're like, yo, we America. Yo, who is that with the... But anyway, they say we America, and they're driving through. They're driving through with their boat. I mean, I think they rammed another boat with explosives into the USS Cole. But now he blaming it on Iran. I mean, all of this, all of this confusion, all these lies to justify stealing.
1 second, Chairman. Miss Make, I'm sorry. Did you want to say something? I saw that you unmuted.
Oh, no, it had unmuted by accident. Sorry about that.
No worries.
Good.
Thank you.
Iranian forces killed and maimed hundreds of American service members in Iraq. The regime's proxies have continued to launch countless attacks against American forces stationed in the Middle East in recent years, as well as U.S. naval and commercial vessels and international shipping lanes. It's been...
Who been stealing ships? We all been seeing it on the media. We see them coming out their helicopters, going down to go steal ships, to go steal oil. We've been seeing it. Yo, but he's standing up there in a nice, safe room to do a pre-recording of the lies that they're going to use to go and bomb and kill thousands of people, children. I mean, it's up to you. What do you want to do? You want to co-sign this? This is what you... When you go on there, when you go on social media and you're talking about support the truth, this is what you supported? Veterans Day, this is what you supported? This is what they're doing. They're out there protecting you. That's why they're bombing Iran. Yo, I wish some of these people that be posting on social media, these people that supporting Trump, I wish some of them was here, because I need somebody to explain it to me. Explain to me how anything they're doing over there is doing anything for anybody here.
We got U.S. casualties too. We got U.S. casualties this time. We got Israel casualties this time. I don't know if you call into this. Figaro was on the interview. So, Tesla Figaro, she was talking to the whole area. I think his name is Dennis O'Leary, something like that. He was on Shark Tank. The rich white guy. That's what Shark Tank is always saying. I'll go to China and get a critique. But anyway, people been sharing the video, and I'm going to make a counter to these shares because Steve tried to correct him. They're like, oh, you put him by telling him I was better. I was willing to die for this country with you. And he kind of just looked at her, Dave, and he didn't even reply. And then she gets to run off on her mouth. And I'm just sitting there baffled, like, Dennis O'Leary don't have to die for this country. He reaped the benefits from you going over there because you poor. You marginalized. You don't have many options. He got everything you don't have. You don't have to go over there. That's not a fact. I think Figaro was being honest. This is a poor black marginalized person in America. Her resources were limited, and that was the best thing that she could do at the time, given whatever opportunity she had. But the insanity of trying to flex on somebody who's way more stable than you and way more stable than you doesn't have to risk their life and live for opportunities of having a GI Bill to get a home, go to college, and get your college debt paid for. Right? They could probably just write a check for the whole 4 years. Trying to flex on them by you went over there, you was willing to die for your country. A country that don't give a damn about you and will throw you up under the bus at any given moment. I just thought that was accident. And black people cheering their own like you cook what?
No, but Ibrahim, wait till you see this, yo. Wait, oh my God, wait till you see this. Wait till you see this. But this is what Du Bois was talking about with the institutions. If we don't have our institutions to tell us what's going on, this is the only thing we could get. We get them telling us what's going on. Who is countering this? Who is our leader that's going to counter and say anything? Yo, most of the people in America listen to this. They don't have no aspect, no institutional memory. They know nothing about the history he's talking about. And they believe in what he's saying. I'm not even playing what he's saying no more because nobody here should be listening to it. I mean, but listen, like, see, when I say we have no institution, you put on the TV, the news, to try to figure out what's going on. Now listen to this one.
So why is it? Maybe it's for oil, as the president daydreams himself into another 19th century war fantasy of conquering some foreign land he doesn't understand or care about, but he would like to rob them of their natural resources. Maybe he thinks Iran and its proud 92 million people will happily and easily become a new colony in an empire helmed by an American.
This is the media. I think she went to Harvard, Yale, whatever university she went to. She's supposed to be brilliant. She's telling you now, she's on a weapons station. She's owned by these corporations. She's telling you the reason why they're bombing Iran is because of Trump. See, that's what they all do. Because of how he failed. Because of Trump, he want to go steal oil, he want to do this. They limit it. They limit the conversation. She will never talk about the people that's paying Trump, that's blackmailing Trump to go bomb these people. She's not going to bring none of that up. Listen to her. It's only going to stay with Trump. Just like they limit everything to Netanyahu. Not the government around him, not the people funding the government around him. Has nothing to do with the imperialists. It's Netanyahu. So if you remove Netanyahu, everything will be okay. Like this is the systemic social conditioning that America is unrivaled in the world. Now listen, now she's gay. She's white and she's a woman. So she's telling you the truth. In their system, if you have a woman in that space, that mean what the space is open, it's free. There's no racism, there's no patriarchy no more, because individuals like this get to be in that space. But she's evidence that you could be white, you could be gay, what else? You could have short hair, you could be whatever, and still be a sociopath, still be an imperialist. That's all she proves to me.
American emperor, maybe that's. But as this now becomes the 7th country Trump has bombed just since being back in office for 1 year, cui bono? Who benefits? It seems like a disturbingly easy question to answer. Why has the U.S. government been pushed in this direction? Follow the money. Why
Miriam Edelstein?
Willing to let that happen? Well, with this president, sadly, we keep learning over and over and over again that the easiest answer is almost always the truest one. He does not play four-dimensional chess.
The easiest answer is the people that's funding him, that's paying him. That's what they want. They want to go take over the resources over there. Miriam Edelstein, that you're afraid to say, because she worked for them too. She worked for Zion. Yo.
Africa. She wasn't counting bombs when Obama was bombing, when Biden was bombing. She wasn't counting them bombs.
Counting nothing. She was urging them on. She was urging them on. Like, look at these people. She's a sociopath.
She's never gonna say that. She's never gonna say nobody authorized Obama and Hillary Clinton to go bomb Lebanon and bomb Syria. She's never gonna say that. She's a Democrat. She's gonna point to the right, and the right gonna point to the left, but they all gonna benefit at the top.
And they're all getting paid by the same people. They're paying her too. She knows she said that she's going to lose that job up there. She's going to lose the millions. She get millions to be on TV for like an hour. Millions. Look at this. Look. She look like Ellen. She like they're hungry.
There's just him and what we know he's like, right? This president appears to have grown his enormous and excitable new appetite for military intervention in just this 1 year back in office. Apparently because he just thinks war is easy. It's exciting.
That's why Obama was at war with everybody, bombing everybody, droning everybody. That's why Biden was at war with everybody, droning and bombing everybody, because they just think it's exciting. She's a genius. She's supposed to be real smart. This is her analysis. Trump is doing it because it's exciting. And people listen to this goofy stuff. They don't know no better. They start believing this garbage, which is the purpose for our own institutions. If you don't have institutions, how are you ever going to have a head? You're going to walk around with a headless body. These people are going to just be ping-ponging you everywhere.
It earns him not only close attention, but even occasionally plaudits from the very serious people who are professionally inclined to believe that there's some rationale, some strategery, some good thinking behind the start of every war, particularly in the Middle East. Starting a war, launching airstrikes, doing this sort of thing, it gets him a ton of attention. He gets to do it,
So you see where they're going with it. It's all Trump. Like this is, I'm telling you, these people are good at this, man. They've spent centuries. to be able to build up people like this, to produce people like this. Word up. They've been here for a minute. We just catching on. And so this is what they did. So they say they're dropping bombs. They're going to drop bombs over there. She's saying he's doing this because it's exciting. Look who they dropped the bomb on. At least 60 children dead from Israeli strikes on girls. You know how they always say they're going around to go free girls?
They said they ran the people. They said Iran killed on its own people, and they killed tens of thousands of people due to protest, even though they didn't prove none of that, even though we're going to ignore what they're going on in Israel, and they stormed Gaza even in the month of Ramadan. But no, we going to liberate these protesters. You got protesters in Minneapolis that's getting shot in the head. Why don't y'all liberate those protesters first? They went over there to liberate, like they went over to Iraq to liberate, and ended up killing what, 500,000 people. That's liberation.
Nah, you're right. Why you not over? Why you ain't in Jersey liberating us? We got what you call it? We got ICE running around in the snow, having high speed chases in the snow, running children over, sending children to the hospital. Why you don't come liberate us? We don't want ICE. Yo, come liberate me from this landlord.
It's just from the strawberry.
You say pastrami? Who? Megabyte, I didn't hear you.
I muted him. I don't think he was trying to say anything.
Oh. All right, so who they killed? I just showed the video where they were killing that they dropped the bomb, killed on a school of children. Cause look, like you got to think about it. Yo, these people are having conversations. Yo, the American government is telling them like, yo, we don't want a war. Let's sit down at this table and have meetings. So they're supposed to be having meetings with these people. This is not the first time they did it. While you're sitting down having meetings, everybody's going to school. You're sending your children to school. You're thinking like you having meetings with these people. They're not gonna start a war till they be like, yo, we about to go to war. Nah, they'll shoot you in the back. While you're having negotiations, you're talking to them. Go ahead.
They called it peace talk. And the only thing I can compare this to is any of y'all is a fan if any of y'all is a fan of The Wire. There was a time when Marlo got on top. He was seeing Chris and Snoop to go have these quote-unquote peace talks. He pulled up on Bodie one. And they pretty much said, like, hey, either run our package or you're going to get killed, right? And that was the peace talks, right? When you have to talk to certain people, so America is having peace talks with Iran. At the same time, I think it's the USS Abraham Lincoln, Gerald R. They moving big military ships across the ocean, setting them up in their water spaces. Like, this is a peace talk. Imagine me trying to have peace talk with you, but I seeing somebody who we all know is a reputable hitter, and he's outside your door now. And I'm calling you on the phone, laughing it up and everything. Yeah, it's all good. Like, that's not peace talk.
Hold up. Hey, Ibrahim, look, this is what you're talking about. They're supposed to be having peace talks. Look at this.
The world's largest warship is now moving in the direction of Iran. You already know that the United States had earlier positioned the Abraham Lincoln close to Iranian waters. That naval strike group is currently stationed just about 150 nautical miles from the coast of Oman. But on its own, this fleet hasn't been able to apply serious pressure on Iran. Now, Trump has announced the deployment of the world's biggest warship toward Iran. This aircraft carrier is called Gerald R. Ford. In terms of size, it stretches roughly 337 meters in length. On board, it carries around 70 F-35 fighter jets, 5 E-2D Hawkeye aircraft for aerial surveillance, 14 MAR-60R helicopters, and nearly 4,500 military personnel. This carrier never sails alone. Along with it are 3 to 4 destroyers and a nuclear-powered submarine. There is also a supply ship on standby, loaded with fuel, food, and weapons for the entire fleet. Now that the United States has sent this aircraft carrier toward Iran, the scale of these preparations suggests America is gearing up for a conflict that could last.
So this is what they were doing. Why they're supposed to be having peace talks. This is what they're doing.
That's Washington going, man.
I mean, this is what they're doing. Like, look, these are all the bases surrounding Iran. All of them. All these bases. So now when they go over there and they bomb Iran, so you know what Iran is doing? Iran is bombing all these bases. All these bases. But why do they, how did they get to come put all these bases all around here, all around Iran? Yo, they control these governments. They go into these government, they go into Saudi Arabia, they go into Qatar, UAE, Kuwait. They take over either they take it over, I mean, or they bomb it into the oblivion. They remove the people that's in power, or they just buy them off. Or like in Syria over here, they have a war for decades trying to remove the leadership for them to put terrorists in there. People they call terrorists. Now they made them presidents in there. They made them the leader of the country. Now they put bases on there. They put weapons to be able to attack these people to take their land. And this has nothing to do with us. This has everything to do with the millionaires, the oligarchs, the people with the money. Nothing they're gaining over here has anything to do with you and I. So you would never see me running around and talking about support the troops. What troops? What troops? None of these people are not fighting for me. My troops will be going to go knock off these landlords. That's what my troops will be doing. Go handle real crime. These people making us work 2, 3 jobs to survive. Why I got to work 3 jobs to survive? How come the money keep going to the top? Go knock the head off the people that... What?
This war is about Raytheon, Halliburton, BlackRock. They sit back, it's counting them for the money counter. People talking about support the troops and die for them. Okay, you down for the oligarchs and
But I'm not even going to stay with Raytheon because he's talking about weapons companies. It's not only them. Yo, what's his name from Golden State Warriors? What's his name? Curry. Yo, Curry invest in Raytheon. I think is it Raytheon or Panther? One of them. These celebrities, these entertainers. When you sitting back and you watching this basketball game and you watching these athletes, they invest in Israel. They invest in these weapons companies because Saddam is their portfolio. Yeah, LeBron James said Israel ain't do nothing wrong. Like he ain't seen nothing that Israel has done wrong. You got to be blind because they're making business with these people. So the celebrities that they use to pull the wool over our eye support all of this. Support all of this. Now you talking about something? I'm supporting because he's black. But he's using that money that he's making from the NBA to invest in private companies that are bombing Nigeria. Private security company that are watching people in Africa for imperialism to blow them up. You're over here celebrating these people. I don't even watch basketball no more. I don't watch none of it. I don't watch none of it no more. I hate all these celebrities. I hate all these athletes. There's no what? What am I? And I don't care. Y'all can talk about Kyrie all you want. He just be talking. He ain't about nothing. He bumping his gums. I mean, he out there playing basketball too. I mean, because he say what he can, and he know that line not to cross no more. He ain't going to be posting no more videos. I mean, he going to talk all that talk, but he ain't doing nothing. He ain't going to put no institutions in no communities. He hasn't put any institutions anywhere. Ain't doing none of that. Just talking. All celebrities, all of them serve a purpose.
And I don't care if they from Newark and win a freaking boxing tournament.
But look, so they went over there because the war itself is illegal. It's illegal to just stop dropping bombs on people that ain't do nothing to you. Aggression, it's illegal. According to their rules, it's supposed to be illegal, but they're lawless. There are no laws. So they went over there and first they kidnapped, what's his name, a couple of weeks ago from Venezuela.
Maduro.
Now they don't win and drop bomb and kill somebody else. Who's holding them accountable? Because they always talk about, this is lawless, there's no laws, we are a nation of laws. What laws? What laws are they following? And what are we doing? But here.
We have just received confirmation from Iranian state TV that the supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, is indeed dead. You might remember a few hours earlier that President Trump had put his post...
Man, that's the BBC. You see her? Where's her face at? Bring your face back. That's the BBC. Let's go back to... Look, she looks like she's from India somewhere. I don't know where she's from. She don't look British. So when you think it's only in America, the BBC is a controlled propaganda network too. But look what they got up there. Look how she got to stretch her teeth to pronounce the names, the words, because it's not her foreign tongue. But they got black people there. They got Indian people there. They're the face of imperialism now. Look at her. She thinks she's doing something. She's supposed to be a role model. These people are just up there to push the propaganda of imperialism. All of them. I don't know who she is. I don't care. But that's her job. Her job is to push that propaganda.
It seems like the initial attack yesterday was focused on taking out Iran's leaders, including the supreme leader. They took out dozens of leaders, according to the IDF. Overnight, last night, it was much more focused on targeting Iran's missile stockpiles, its launch sites, and also its air defense system. So all the indications are from Israel and the United States is they don't plan to stop this anytime soon. Their aim, both Prime Minister Netanyahu and Donald Trump have said their aim is regime change in Iran. Now, they're not going to get that through missile strikes. They would need boots on the ground. We're not going to have that, I don't think, either.
Who are you? Who the F do you think you are to go do regime changing anywhere in the world? Who are you? Just to think that you can go around the world just killing people, to just change their governments. And that's not going to happen. You're not going to bomb them and change their governments. You got to put troops on the ground. But it's going to be 10, 15, 20 years, another generation wasted before they realize that. Iran is not no little place where you could go. Iran is not Iraq. Iran is not, Gaza. You can't just
Iran
go.
got 90 million people and the military. Imagine you being so full of yourself. You see how we live over here, the conditions that we live in. To think we want to spread this type of oppression throughout the world and people would just happily take it. Trump thought he was going to kill a few leaders in Iran, and the people of Iran was going to do what they did in other countries, overthrow the government. Nobody wants to live like we live in America. We don't have free health care. We don't have a UBI. We got the highest incarceration rate in the highest incarceration rate in the world. We got homelessness out the wazoo. We got people that's underemployed, unemployed. We got bad infrastructure over here. Everything is done by the top who only want to profit, who only want to put profits into their pocket. Nobody wants to be a part of this America. Like, I don't know what type of propaganda America had where the world was like, yeah, we want to be like America, but whatever that was, it's the myth now. It's far gone. Nobody wants to be like us. We got social media. People see how we struggling over here. Nobody wants to come and join this inflation.
Nah, you're 100% correct. I got to come back because I wanted to check through because we're running out of time. I wanted to check through what we got on here. But even here, so the war started. The Strait of Hormuz is where I think about 20% of the world oil and stuff, energy goes through. It's a strait where people go through with their ships, like trying to do transport and all of that. Iran said, we blocked.
So the Strait of Hormuz is forbidden. No ship in every type is not allowed to pass from the Strait of Hormuz till next notice. This is Sepah Navy out.
So that's what they're telling them. They tell them, can't nobody come through here. You're not coming through here with your oil. But who you think that's going to affect? Is going to affect us or the billionaires? When I go to get gas tomorrow, I'm going to look. I'm going to look to see how much gas is. But gas is going to go up. Nothing they steal from over there is going to do anything for me. These are the people, where they at? They're in Dubai right now. That's where all the rich people say they be going. I'm about to go to Dubai. I went to Dubai. You got some of these country people out here. You ain't got a pot to piss in, window to throw it out of, but I'm going to take a vacation to Dubai. You can't even afford a bottle of water out there. Dubai. But Dubai, all these places are where America has funded the people that are there, that are in power, to enable to create these spaces there so they could put military bases for them to go attack people over there. So they come in, they put the military base in Dubai, wherever, Beirut. They put all these bases there, and then when they're about to go to war, you know what they do? They all evacuate. All the military people evacuate from there. Look, how you putting the base there? Because they say they're putting the base there to defend themselves, to defend the people there. Like America come in. We're going to put bases here so we could defend y'all against your enemies around here. And as soon as there's about to be a war, they all leave. The American soldiers, I forgot the term they be using, but they evacuating. They're evacuating from these bases. And when they evacuate from the bases, look what they do. Look. They think Iran is Iraq. Rain it on them. Now, those are innocent people in Beirut that don't have nothing to do with this. That got nothing to do with nothing. They're the one that gave them bombs and stuff rained on them. But this is one of the American ships, because they think everybody ain't gonna get no get back, and you're not gonna see this on TV. But these are drones. Iran is sending drones to go hit them ships I showed you a few minutes ago. That's what they're doing with our tax dollars. This is what they're paying for while people sleep in the cold, while they kick people outside of their homes. This is what they're paying for. That's a drone. That's a direct hit. That's a drone. They're fighting back. So now you live in a project somewhere. I mean, you talking about you get this recruiter fool you. You talking about I'm going into the military. I'm about to go into the Navy. Yo, they got you inside this ship right here. You in the bottom of this ship trying to save these people. For what? Save what people? You over there trying to bomb people that ain't do nothing to you or your people. To anybody. And you at the bottom of this in the engine room somewhere, you cleaning the floor because you just a cleaner. They don't have you doing nothing. You're not there. You ain't driving this ship. You ain't doing none of that. Your country nigga behind is in the cellar somewhere, hot as hell, throwing coal in the furnace. That's what you doing. Talking about you in the Navy. You just a janitor. But you all the way over there in the ocean. Yo, you ain't catching me on no ocean. I mean, I try not to get in the plane. I like to control my area, man. I be shook when I'm not in control. Like I'm in the plane, I ain't in man, look. I'm not going on the ship. I ain't trying to die that way. So you in the bottom of that ship for what? That paycheck is worth it? Man, you out your rabbit mind. You out your rabbit mind. This is the airport. That's the airport in Dubai. Because the rich people don't get none of this. The rich people are not the one in those spaces. It's people like us.
Reminded that Iranian drones. Oh, take a look at this shot.
Look.
That's in Doha.
Doha, Qatar.
People literally running for their lives. Look at that.
Remember them bases I showed you? Let's go back to them bases. All them bases they got surrounding them. All these bases, they the one getting some of this smoke right now. You see, because they can't really launch nothing from here all the way to America. But everybody around here, all these bases you got here, or they going to get some of this smoke. Trump could talk all that slick talking from D.C. in somewhere in some basement. But all these people going to get some of that smoke. Go ahead, Ibrahim.
I said they in prison. They touching everybody they can touch.
Anybody can touch. I mean, anybody yo. Go ahead. What you said?
I said Saudi Arabia. You would think, well, not you would think, but because they were a Muslim country, or they are a country where a whole bunch of people claim to be Muslim, I think they would either shut their goddamn mouth or condemn the people who initiated the war against their brothers. No, they put out a statement condemning Iran for fighting Iran for fighting back. Like, just cowards, because they can't make no oil money right now because they need that strength to make oil money.
Roll it up. I mean, look. That's a military base. Yo, you hear the people out there? The people out there are celebrating what the Iranians are doing. Yo, the mass of the people are with Iran. The only people that are with the U.S. is them government, them puppet government that they put in place, that they finance to be able to kill their own citizens. But listen to the citizens. This is a military base, an American military base that they attacked. Look, you see that? By the way, you see that satellite up there? They're strategically attacking all of that stuff. And the people there are celebrating it. The people there are celebrating all of that stuff. The people that live there, they're celebrating it. Where's this guy at? Let me put this on right here.
Iran has destroyed an American Navy base in Bahrain, and it is still burning right now. Iranian drones have overwhelmed American bases in the region, and this is a radar that's worth $1 billion being blown up. Many residential buildings housing American soldiers in Bahrain are also being blown up by drones. What you're seeing is a direct strike of a ballistic missile on another Navy base in the region. This is yet again another explosion on an American base from an Iranian drone. And here is another explosion from an American munitions depot in Bahrain. Early detection radar systems such as this one right here are being blown up by ballistic missiles. This is a before and after of a radar base in Qatar. And
right here, look.
People celebrating the good servicemen and women have brought hell to them. Drugs, alcohol, all different types of vices and debauchery. They don't want them people there.
And like, look right here. This was it. This was a satellite station before. Look, I mean, this was it before over here. This is it now. I mean, strategic. They're going in there with their drones and they're bombing these sites. And the people in those countries are celebrating it because the people don't want those military bases there. So when you say it in America and you're like, yo, welcome these people around the world, they're not standing with us. Yo, they're dealing with their own savagery. They're dealing with their own government they can defeat. Just like you can't defeat your own government over here. They got their own issue that they're dealing with. And you over here, you have no idea. You don't know what you're talking about. And you just start opening your mouth, regurgitating the ignorance that you've learned. Yo, what you call it, man? I'll be watching Jimmy Dore. I think that's where I heard it. I don't know who he said it, but he said no matter who you vote for in America, you get John McCain. This is John McCain when he was still alive. Listen to John McCain.
But anyway, I would be launching airstrikes not only in Iraq, but in Syria, bomb Iran into the Contras, bomb Iran into the Contras. When I search John McCain on YouTube, the biggest thing that comes up is you singing bomb, 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 bomb Iran. So
you see, and most people think that's a song by the Beach Boys. It's really not a song by the Beach Boys. What's the name of the group, man? I forgot the name of the group that made it. The Renegades or something, I don't know. But the original song wasn't Bomb Iran by the Beach Boys. It was some about some woman named Ann or something like that. They changed it. This new group changed it in 1980, and they changed the song to Bomb Bomb Iran. But it was the song had nothing to do with this. But anybody you vote for, all the politicians, whatever politician you vote for in America, they're John McCain. Because they all support the same system. They all support that the Zionists. They all support imperialism. And at the end of the day, remember that was 2007 they were showing. They're showing you John McCain from the 90s saying bomb, 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 Iran. That's what John McCain was doing, working for these people, for the Adelsons, all of these people. For AIPAC, they're trying to use the military here to go over there and do what they got to do. But it's those rich people. It's those oligarchs. All these people like a John McCain, Barack Obama, Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, Biden, all these people they're just like commissioners. Like when you have a commissioner in sports, in the NFL, they do what the NFL owners want them to do. That's what these presidents, these politicians do. They do what the corporations want them to do. So whoever you vote for, you're voting for John McCain. And they made this song. They switched it over. They switched the song over from the Beach Boy and made this parody. This was doing, I think, 79 when they were over there. What Trump started off talking about. What Trump started off talking about when they went over there, overthrew their leader, and appointed the Shah of Iran that was oppressing the people there. And as soon as he got sick, he left whatever. I think he went out the country to get an operation. And they took over the embassy. And they said, we don't want them back. We having our own revolution. We don't want them back. We're going to put somebody in power that we want. You see, but I keep saying we. The people on the ground wasn't that. It's another elite group of people in Iran that was doing that. But they threw them group of elites out, and they took over. The people have no nation. The people run no nation around the world. So it ain't no we. I'm not in we with the people in government in Iran. But I can still be objective enough to understand that the bombing that they're doing over there is illegal. Nobody declared war with you. I mean, like even in China, I'm not supporting the government over there. I don't know them. It's not the people controlling the government in China. It's imperialists too. Everywhere around the world, it's globalism. There is absolutely nowhere in the world where the people run anything. Y'all don't think it's about time that we start organizing to take over shit? I'm just saying. See, I've made up my mind a long time ago that enough of this. I'm going to dedicate my life towards building these institutions for us to liberate ourselves. That's where I finally came. That's where and then when we talk about institutions, when you don't have institutions, you know what happened? This is what's going on TikTok. Yo, everybody pay attention to this real quick, man. I hope I ain't lose everybody. But this is what our children are doing on TikTok.
Bitch, we did World War One and we did World War Two. Bitch, we'll do this shit again. Iran, we ain't scared of you. No, where the fuck do y'all stay? We ain't never fuck Iran. Bitch, we did World War One and we did World War Two. Bitch, we'll do this shit again. Iran, we ain't scared of you. No.
Who is we? Who is we? Did World War One. We did World War Two. You see these delusional idiots? When you ripped away everything and you've brainwashed them, and this is what you produce. This is what you have now. People that look like us, but their brain is mush. Just goofies. Bitch, we did World War One. You didn't do nothing. And they're all on social media.
They did the war on drugs to us. I wonder if they're going to dance about that.
I mean, but they don't know. They know absolutely nothing about nothing. But like when you don't build institutions to raise your people, to control how your people think, this is what happened. Look at them. We're gonna bring it back. Bitch, we did World War One. You ain't do nothing. You wasn't there for World War One. Your World War One was dumb, dividing up Africa. So what the hell you mean, bitch, we did World War One?
Iran, bitch, we did World War One and we did World War Two. Bitch, we'll do this shit again. Iran, we ain't scared of you. No, where the fuck do y'all stay? We ain't.
Where the fuck do y'all stay? You don't know where Iran is at on the map.
That's that American education system.
The ignorance is on a profound level. They're laughing, goofing around. Look at them. They got the military outfit on. This is disgusting. But that's where we at in 2026. We were just reading.
Yeah, man, 1 second. And when all them troops come back in the body bag, ain't no thank you for your service or half flag or we mourning. None of that. None of that.
See that right there? That's a woman right there. It don't matter if you're a woman. It don't matter if you're white. They got black people. They got women. They got all these people here. All these people laying on this over there going to kill people, drop bombs on children, on girls, on babies, on boys, men, women, on everybody. Because nobody's exempt. Nobody's better than anybody else here. No life is worth more than anybody's life. So men, women, black, white, or whatever, these people are going over there to go drop bombs on them. And they got them on the deck. Like this how their little pep rally. To get them all pepped up for them to go sit on that ship and send drones and lob drones at people. Because they ain't going to Iran to go fight nobody. Ain't none of these people right here stepping foot on Iran to fight nobody. They're going to try to stay far away like cowards do and lob bombs on children. That's who they are. These are the people you want me to say are my troops? I support my troops. These are not my troops. These are not our troops. These are fools. These are war criminals paid for by the oligarchs, by the rich, to go kill poor brown people, black and brown people around the world. That's what they are. See, they got the speakers. They got the speakers all over. Like him. Like he thought about it. He was sitting in his room. And he's like, yeah, this is what we're going to do. We're going to come out here, bring the speakers, and we're going to try to get their morale up and try to motivate them. Because we know they're human beings. And deep down, they know they shouldn't be doing none of this. But we're going to build camaraderie. We're going to show these people that they're fighting a good fight. So we're going to come out here with our speaker. Look how she's looking at him. Look how she probably want to sleep with him so she can move up in rank. Look how she's looking at him. Because that's what they do. It's like in real life. I was in the military. They sleep with the officers so they could move up in rank. They don't go to PT. They don't run. They don't do nothing. They always got their period. When we used to do PT, every time we used to get up in the morning to go run them 3, 4, 5 miles, the women come out there with their sneakers, on, and the little thing, saying like they got a medical thing that they can't do nothing because they got cramps. Yeah. And the whole time, like let's say you the same rank as them. I mean, they don't even have to listen to nothing you say. They start bossing you around because they're sleeping with Goofy over here that's supposed to be running the whole platoon. But because they're giving them some coochie, he let them do what they want to do. I can't. Just the way she's looking at him, making my stomach turn. Ain't none of them going to fight. None of them are going to step foot over there to fight. All they do is throw bombs at people. All of this is for show. What you doing push-ups for? You about to go push a button, dog. You're not getting off that ship to go nowhere to fight nobody. They're all cowards. So it really don't matter if you have a female going out there, you have a male going out there, you have somebody that's gay going out there. You could have somebody crippled. What's his name? Dawkins? He was in the Epstein file too. Damn, no comment. He could go too. All you gotta do is know how to press a button and drop bombs on people. That's all you gotta know how to do. And then they come back like they're heroes after killing children. Y'all sociopaths. Y'all like I told you, what you hear here, you're not gonna hear nowhere else. Because we're not afraid of nobody. We're not afraid of the government, of corporations telling us what not to say. We here to have real conversations. If you support any of these people, you're part of the problem. You're part of the problem. Now, we went out yesterday to go have a rally. 5 minutes. We went out to have a rally yesterday. Let me end this real quick. For Wale Bay. The police killed Wale in Newark. And if we don't keep the energy going, nobody's going to pay attention. It's going to go away swept under the rug. So we went out there. I shared this picture because that's my brother right here. That's my brother Gutter right there. He never been to no protest, nothing. But he's becoming mature. He's growing up now. And he's looking at the world around him. And he went out there to come show support, but he even grabbed the bullhorn to say a few words. Yo, your organizing should start in your home. The people that's around you should see that you're real. If they don't see that you're real, how can anybody else trust you? I mean, so this is my proudest moment of this weekend, watching him grab that mic right there, the bullhorn, for him to say the few words he said. I mean, I was scrolling on Facebook. He ain't even see it. I ain't even send him this. I was scrolling on Facebook, and I saw Jimmy White posted it. Jimmy was there, too. I mean, but I'm done. Anybody got something they want to say real quick? Oh, man, look, man, yo, cop you a Black Panther hoodie, yo. Yo, hit us up. Yo, everything that we do in the community, from the after-school program, the housing program, the food program, we try to sell these hoodies to try to, like, make, because they don't make ends meet. I can't even say make ends meet. Really, my real purpose for selling these hoodies is to get this, to get the brand out. To get people in the community, everybody to start wearing this, to start identifying with the ideology. But I can't give it away for free. Like, we paid to get the hoodies made. You know what I mean? So if you want to help out, you want to give us a little help, whatever, yo, cop the hoodie. I mean, kids is 40, the adults is 45. If you get a couple, we could work a deal out. Make it happen. No, really? But cop a hoodie, yo. Let me see. Do we have anything else here? Nah, we don't have nothing else. Nah, anybody want to say something real quick before we end for this week? Do you see any hands up, General Secretary? Stop share. How do I go to stop share? Every week with the stop share.